Humanity invents this spike drive, allowing faster-than-light travel. Nations and corporations set about colonizing space at a rapid pace. The first great expansion peaks with the very fringes of human space, now a year's travel from Earth. To enforce rule over the colonies, the Terran Mandate is created by the nations of Earth, and it places a ban upon further colonization. Metadimensional extroversion syndrome, or MES, appears, allowing sufferers to perform impossible feats such as teleportation or telepathy. However, it invariably kills those affected, or drives them mad. With time, training, and untold lives lost in research, ways of training and harnessing these psionic powers are developed, being improved with each generation of instructors. Jump gates are created, allowing choirs of master teleporter psionics to provide almost instant travel for ships passing through the gate to any other gate. Travel to the frontier is cut to 2 days, and the Terran Mandate lifts the ban on colonization. The second great expansion begins. Psi-tech manufacturing, able to manipulate universal constants, allows impossible materials and works of engineering. Due to manpower shortages and the ever-expanding number of people moving to the frontier, the Terran Mandate gives up trying to control the frontier worlds entirely. Spike drive ships are rare and antiquated. Jump gates have replaced them in all but the poorest, most unimportant and distant frontier systems. Core worlds have become increasingly specialized, relying on the jump gate network for resources from other systems. Emanating from the Veil Nebula, the Scream takes a mere 17 minutes to propagate across human space, killing or rendering insane every single psychic. The jump gate network collapses, and humanity is thrown into isolation and chaos. Countless core worlds die without access to supplies. The frontier worlds fare better, as many were yet to receive jump gates, or had not yet transitioned away from some degree of subsistence. Still, many end up as tomb worlds, or are reduced to primitive levels of technology. Slowly the silence lifts, as worlds manage to form large-scale industrial bases not reliant on psi-tech. Attempts to recover humanity's psychic abilities in MES sufferers largely fail initially, due to a lack of instructors, and those that do succeed are without the power of pre-Scream psychics. Explorers begin remapping old drill courses that have shifted over the years, a dangerous and unreliable task. Stellar unions start to form around the strongest worlds, and warfare erupts over control of valuable pre-Scream tomb worlds and installations. Now, our band of adventurers, stranded in an unknown sector, must attempt to survive.
Hello, and welcome back to Roll4It, Stars About Numbers, where your favorite YouTubers and streamers get together to play some sci-fi geekiness. So, lots of announcements today. This will be the last Stars About Number. That's the first announcement. Second announcement is, it was Splats last week, but we didn't do one last week, and it's Avac's last week today. So, like, all the crying eyes emojis need to come out in chat. Sad faces all around. But we also have good news. Lots and lots of good news. So, we start off at the top with, we know roughly when we're coming back. Now, of course, all this is subject to change because we're going on a little bit of like a week or two hiatus so that we can get the team together, so we can do the stuff that needs to be done to get a new show, so that we can come back with a lovely polished show and everybody's cool. So, it looks like the new start date for our Sunday show will be maybe the 13th. So, there will be like this Sunday and the next Sunday off. And then, in theory, we come back the Sunday after. It might end up being the 20th if we feel we need, like, a practice session or something extra. But we should be back around then. And then shortly after that, we should be starting the Friday show again. I think the Friday show might end up being a little bit after. If we're lucky, it might end up being, like, the 11th. But that's subject to change at the moment. We also have a list of people who will be joining us. So, with Avac and Splat going, I refuse to cry today. We have myself, Bentham, Maggie, and Delric. Joining us will be 3 more people, at least. Currently, it looks like 3 more people. We have Gaming FTL. If you know, he has a YouTube channel. It's pretty nice. It does lots of little indie games. We also have Lauren. You might know her from HyperRGB or like some of her streaming stuff. Otherwise known as Random Tuesday. She's been here before. She joined in for one of our Shadowrun sessions. And finally, we also have Dan Bull. You might know his rap game videos that he does on YouTube and Spotify. I actually wasn't aware that he had a Spotify thing until he told me the other day. I was like, oh, yeah. No, I completely forgot Spotify existed. So, apparently that's a thing. So, yeah, we'll be having Dan Bull, Lauren, and Gaming FTL all joining us on the show. Probably going to be Lauren and Dan on the Sunday. And I think Josh is going to be joining us on the Friday show, but that's still tentatively subject to change. So bear that in mind, okay? So hopefully that was worth the wait in terms of finding new people, and there's going to be that small gap, etc. So hopefully it will be all cool. The actual systems we're looking at bringing back with the new games on the Friday and the Sunday, which look like they're going to be Friday and Sunday, or Sunday, might end up being 2 hours earlier. So it might end up being like 10 a.m. PST, 6 p.m. BST, just to fit with people's schedules a bit better. It looks like it might be the Star Trek RPG, Star Trek Adventures, which has just come out. And it may end up being the Buffy the Vampire Slayer RPG, which is quite old, but kind of good. Or maybe something like D&D, depending on what the cast want to do. Because at the end of the day, we want to play the thing that gets the cast the most fun. Because when we're having the most fun, I imagine you're having the most fun. Because no one really wants to sit here watching us play an RPG that be like, I'm on the dice. At least that's how I feel about Shadowrun. Sound about right? Anything I haven't announced? Anyone think I've missed something?
I think that's covered us.
Awesome.
The chat explosion at Dan Bull.
Really? At Dan Bull? Not the fact that you're coming back, Bentham?
Well, I'm a given. They know I'm going to be here, so it's fine.
They're taking you for granted right there. They're taking you for granted.
I know, it's terrible.
Yeah.
How could they?
Some fair. But yeah, no, so hopefully that'll be worth the couple of weeks we'll have off just to make sure we can refine the show and come back with an awesome cast, etc. Mainly because lots of people have lots of things in the summer holidays. Who knew that people actually took time off? I didn't. But yeah, so say goodbye to Avac because this will be his last day. He will be coming back for some guesting episodes maybe, depending if we can fit time in or whatever. Avac is a very busy Welshman.
I am. There are many sheep.
Well, I'm glad you said it, not me.
I had to, because someone else would. If I make fun of it, it dampens the effect.
This is true. So, right.
Hold on, chat. Don't say bye to Avac yet. We've got a few hours left, okay?
We do have a few hours more Avac. You gotta save every little bit. Save every little crumb.
Peace. Bye, Felicia. Out.
Right, so, firstly, we have number of ways of supporting us. If you want to, you can go support us over at Patreon, which is the main way you can support us. It allows us to get, like, new awesome cast members on when we need more cast members. Or to do new shows, to do bits of art, to do pretty much everything. And to make sure that our cast don't starve and they can feed their pets. That's the reason that Avak had to leave. He just couldn't afford to feed his pets anymore because he got a cat along with the ferrets.
Feeds a lot.
And I'm pretty sure that you at one point had a moth that you were raising.
Yes, and all of their many children.
Yeah.
Putting that many eggs, well, eventually moths, through university, it's just, you know, I just had to turn to a life of crime. I've become a Bond villain. I'm going to hit banks all over the world. It's going to be great.
He is Mothman. Hopefully it's a better outcome than the one from...
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be so good, honestly.
Was that the Tick? Wasn't the Tick the head Mothman? Right? The Tick and Mothman. Am I wrong? I'm gonna Google it.
I'm thinking
just be
Mothman
like Batman,
from-
but smaller.
I was thinking from, what's it called? The thing with the blue guy and the comedian. What's it called?
Yeah, and Mothman. Yeah, Mothman is from the Tick. You're referring to another one, I guess.
Oh, different Mothman. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can support us over
Oh,
at
is it like
Patreon. There's a load of cool tiers, etc., like after shows and like PDFs and stuff of GM handouts. So if you want to go check that out, do. We also have Twitch subscriptions, which you can like subscribe on Twitch, and you get little emotes and stuff. That's another good way of supporting us, and you get like a little badge. And if you want to do one-time support, if you don't like doing subscription support, whatever, you can use Twitch bits, which go in the cup down there. And of course, you can do individual little tips using actual money, because apparently that's a thing, rather than all these virtual currencies. So you can actually put the monies into the pots down there, and of course, physics happens as it does. Right. What happened last time?
So the very last thing that happened was Delilah told us that she told this random person that shouldn't be told
No.
that we had nuclear weapons on board our
That's
ship
not
that
what
are highly
happened.
illegal.
That's not what happened. She made delicious cupcakes, and you guys came home, and you're like, "What? Did you put bacon in cupcakes? This is amazing. I love these." And we're all sitting around and eating cupcakes very happily. That is what happened.
So,
Do you have some sort of internal recording that you can refer to being an AI Cooper? Because I feel that something may not be quite right here. Don't know what it is. Can't put my finger on it.
Well, there's multiples. There's internal ship sensors. There's my eyes. There's Delilah's own Argus web. There's a lot of different ways we can verify whether there were
Yeah,
cupcakes
You
or
probably
not.
should get on that right
I
away.
feel like there was an EMP. And none of those things are working right now. Cupcakes.
yeah, all the sensors are offline for the refit of the ship. So basically what happened is they went to a planet, they found there was an ancient weapon on the planet that was really awesome, which they got asked to give back to the people there, and they gave back to the people there in exchange for them helping them out. They finally flew off to get their ship repaired. They went to someone to get their ship repaired that they knew. While there, they ran into a nice guy who was like, "Oh, I'll pay you money for all this information you've got. And by the way, do you want to talk to us about that stuff you encountered?" And they kind of gave hints that there was stuff there that was really interesting, or that there were enemies, or there was technology, but they didn't really say, because they decided to keep certain things under wraps. And eventually, after a long, drawn-out contract negotiation, Splat's character, Stax, felt compelled to say something, but at the last minute managed to stop himself. With that, the shady character they were talking to said thank you very much and immediately headed out. The group were like, "Oh, cool. Oh, well, that went well. Shall we head back?" Meanwhile, back at the actual ship port where Derek's character, Delilah, had stayed, shady character turns up and says, "By the way, was there anything really awesome on that planet?" And Delilah felt compelled to say, "Oh yeah, like there were these psychic people and they had this really powerful super weapon and it blasted people and there were these bad guys." At which point he was like, "Oh, thank you very much. Okay, I'm off." The group came
And
back.
as he also said, oh, and also nukes.
Oh yeah, she also said nukes. That was it. He offered her money for the nukes and he was like, Delilah was like, I'm okay for the moment, thank you. And they had a very nice chat, at which point he left. The group came back very shortly thereafter and said, you talked to who? And he was like, oh yeah, I just talked to so-and-so and told him all about these nukes and about the super weapon, about these evil alien things, and the team just went, you said what? At which point we ended the episode. So we begin this episode in the middle of the ship repair yard, out front of the ship, as there are a couple of repairmen just over the top of it, sort of welding material, sparks coming off it. And Delilah standing right in front of Stax, Ulyses, and Cooper, all aghast.
Said what? Pretty sure the quote was, "You fucking said what?"
Pretty much.
I think that's kind of like
Yeah,
where
Those were the last words before the last show ended. Yep.
yeah.
I go, what? You told him about the nukes?
Yeah, of course.
What? But why? We're supposed to be not telling them these sorts of things.
This
That was
seems
the plan.
deeply odd, so I'm totally going to be using telepathy on Delilah right now to try and work out if there's any sort of layer of deception or the kind of smugness of a plot coming to fruition, that kind of thing. I mean, I'm only going to get a kind of
You'll get
basic
very
emotional
certain, it's like
readout,
one or two
but it should
words,
be
yeah.
enough.
You get a mixture of
Perplexed.
she's honest. She's a little bit perplexed about why you wouldn't see it that way, and she's a little bit confused about why you would think that, you know, this guy was really nice. Like, obviously, Delilah wanted to tell this guy stuff. He was just so nice, and quite frankly, it seemed like a good deal at the time to just, you know, make friends or whatever. She's a bit confused about maybe in hindsight why she made such a rash decision, but it seemed a very right decision, especially at the time.
Okay, well,
He asked me, and it just seemed like the right thing to do in the moment. Isn't that what we were supposed to be doing? Is giving him all the information that we have? That
No,
that
we were
was the
trying to
right
keep
thing, right?
Certain important things secret, because if we gave them all the cards, then they could do anything. They could go back to Thor and kill all
what
the
did
guys.
he say after you told him all of this?
The hammer.
He said thank you, and if we needed, it asked if I wanted to buy them, if I wanted to
That is
sell
all
them,
he
and
said?
I said no. That Cooper wants that Cooper's saving them for a rainy day.
We might have a rainy day pretty bloody soon now. Oh, damn it. But why would... We had a plan. We discussed this. Why would you just tell him?
It just seemed like the right thing in the moment. I don't know. You're walking. You see an old lady
resistant
making their
you
way
were
across the
to any
street. You help her.
conversation
It
with
seems
them
like the right thing
previously.
in the moment. I don't know.
Why the
This
sudden
doesn't
change?
make any sense.
I don't. It just kind of. Yeah, I felt. I don't know. It felt right in the moment. I can't. I don't have any explanation beyond that. It just. Was it the wrong thing to do? I thought this was. Oh God. I don't even know.
Delilah, wait for a moment. Calm down. Everyone, calm down. Delilah, when he asked you that question, and you responded as you did, think of how you felt. Now cast your mind back to a few hours earlier, or any time when someone has asked you a question of some value for which you are getting nothing in return, and think of how you felt then. Are there any differences that seem out of character?
What kind of save could I make to try to realize that this kind of intrusion happens with his guidance? Or is there nothing because I am...
Make a mental save.
I will right now. Any penalties, bonuses, anything? Or just flat?
I just say a flat mental save.
Sir?
So what you get from a 1 failure would be that you're pretty sure you made the right decision, but it did seem a bit impulsive, maybe. Like, you can rationalize it in your head, but it did seem maybe a bit impulsive.
Listen, I know it just seems... I guess in hindsight, it was not a good idea. It just made perfect sense at the time. He asked me... I was in the middle of a conversation with him. We were talking about making amends for the misunderstanding from yesterday, and he was so accepting of the apology, and he just asked, and I just, in the moment, it seemed like the right thing. It really did.
That doesn't make any sense. That's not...
We should take this talk inside. Are there workmen inside?
I thought we
Have
were
there
inside because I was inside and he came and knocked on the door originally. So I think we were already inside the ship.
You were basically at the
Threshold.
entrance. You hadn't you're on the threshold, effectively on the ramp. You can go inside if you want.
Are there any work crews still inside?
No, not at this point. They're mostly working the outside.
Then let's get inside. And I start moving in. We'll take this conversation to the mess hall.
You said what? Stax is just still a gorp. Like he doesn't understand.
I actually just put a hand on Stax's shoulder and lead him in because he's basically running on autopilot. Yeah. He is so flabbergasted.
He is. So you go inside. You go up to the mess hall. It looks like
all the way along. Just every now and then he's like, "She said what?" Just repeats the question over and over.
Yeah.
He's not even waiting for an answer now. He's stuck in the mental.
Sometimes his mouth is just opening and closing, like he's trying to form words, but his brain just can't connect with the mouth right there. And you get to the mess hall. As far as you can tell, no one's around here. It looks like whatever job they've done, they've mostly cleaned out from the inside.
Something like that just doesn't come up in conversation.
He specifically asked me. Do you know of any weapons of like significant value? I can't remember the exact phrasing, but something along the lines of, do you know of any weapons of significant value in the area that I should be aware of? And again, in the moment, it seemed like he should probably know that we have illegal nukes, though it sounds really bad saying that out loud now, and about the hammer of Thor, because they're going over there to fight those people, though isn't that supposed to be like their defense in case things went sour? I don't know. It just made sense in the moment. I was making amends, okay?
As this conversation goes on, I actually pause for a moment and I start to open my mouth, as much as Stax has been doing all the way up. He looks like a goldfish at this point. And I start to form a question and then I stop, and then I clearly think of it. I start to form another question. I stop. I look to Cooper to see if he's reacting to this yet. I'm
confused and just trying to work out what's going on here. It's like there's a feeling that like he doesn't just think that this is normal, that something's up.
You said you told him of the Hammer of Thor, and he said he was going to do what? Did I mishear you?
He didn't say he was going to do anything. He just said thanks and offered to purchase our nukes off of us at a fair price. And I said no, that Cooper would want to save them for a rainy day. I assume you didn't want to sell them. I could make a really good trade, and then she like looks at Stax, and Stax like gripping white knuckled Donna, and she's like, but I thought that was a bad idea, so I didn't go ahead and do that. It didn't feel right in the moment.
Well, now they know that they know about the hammer, and hell, they probably knew about it beforehand, just didn't know where it was. I mean, it was a Serena stage ship that we salvaged it from, right? Probably one of their lost artifacts. They're gonna want that back.
Too convenient. All of this is too convenient. Why would he come back here? Why would he ask the same question he had asked of Stax to Delilah at the door?
I suddenly like turn 180 and point at Ulyses and go, he knew as soon as he looked at me that I was a robot. How did...
The cups. And if so, I blame myself. It was a foolish oversight, but I don't think it was just that. I will remember next time that although you don't need it, that in public we should still make a show of it, but he was certain beyond a doubt. There are enough other reasons why you might not have been drinking.
Would I be able to make the connection at this stage? I don't know how common knowledge psychic abilities are.
On tier 4 worlds, they're fairly known about. Like, they were kind of the big thing before the screams, so...
Should I make like a roll for it?
If you want. Make an intelligence knowledge roll.
Alright.
Actually, make it wisdom knowledge, because it's more of a judge. It's like a leap of intelligence rather than actual,
Wow, that was
I was like, yes,
that was a case of holding out the carrot waiting for your teeth to almost close and then snatching it away. That was so mean.
I have my mouse over the button. So close.
So mean.
9.
You might twig that.
I'll be thinking for a minute and go, he knew I was a robot because he tried to read me. That's what this is. This is... I can't believe this.
Like the seers, on... No, they could perform strange feats, but they spoke nothing of the mind, nothing of other people's minds, only manipulation over moving things that they couldn't possibly touch. The strange air bubble around. No, nothing like that.
He's telepathic. They sent us a bloody psychic.
You mean like he could read my mind?
Yep.
Why else would
Read
you have
your mind,
told him something
influence
that
you, I
was
guess?
so guarded about before?
We haven't had telepaths on my world in 70 years. They were all killed because of reasons like that. Shit.
Well, who knows what it's like on this side of the border. So there you go. They had a psychic. That's why they didn't want to talk to us. That's why they wanted us to talk to him.
I knew
Look
that
straight
guy
up
gave
to
me
us.
the willies. I knew. I just didn't like him. There was something about him that was wrong. And you're telling me that he maybe made me say that, which is why I said it and why it seems like the right thing to say, but I don't know. I'm confused why I would say it. I just thought it was because I've been off since everything that happened. I've just not quite been myself after all the...
That's what he meant when he said it was worth a try. When he asked Stax the question, and Stax refused or avoided it. Cooper, do you remember? He said it was
Yeah,
worth
he
a
just
try.
Suddenly blurted that out at the end. Just trying to get one last thing. I mean, I guess that means that he couldn't quite read us all like open books, but he could definitely get something from us. He was able to read us enough to tell that I wasn't human.
Perhaps that was enough. Perhaps that's why he came to you, Delilah, and as you said, you were off, you were worried. Maybe that's why. Why you capitulated, whereas Stax was able to resist.
Honestly, if he actually did violate me like that, if he entered my mind, I'd want to take those nukes and shove them up his ass. But the problem is, he probably has a ship like ours, and can't he just ignore it? Isn't that a thing? Can't you just use the spike drive to just avoid nukes?
How much do I know about the nukes we have?
You had a quick look at them earlier, and you did find out they were special. Like, somehow they dampened the effect of spike drive nearby so they could detonate.
I say ours are different. I don't know where the hell they came from, but they possibly won't have to worry about that particular problem.
Regardless what now? They know that we have these weapons. We either need to get rid of them or be gone from this place. And what of the Hammer of Thor?
They're gonna try and get it.
Didn't I say like we specifically, I was a bit tipsy that night. But didn't I say specifically we didn't want them to know about the Hammer of Thor, that was your friend's like last protection in case they needed something?
Well, that's the only reason that we agreed to any of this, was that we wouldn't endanger them.
And then we turn around. We turn around and tell him exactly that it exists.
When she says we turn around, Ulyses, one of his brows does loft a little bit, and there's a pointed look, but he lets it go.
At this point, Stax interjects. You mean they try to read my mind?
Oh my god, Stax is American!
You never noticed?
He's like proper Wild West American now. He's not just like, oh my lord,
I want to shoot some fools.
I need to get him a cowboy hat before this campaign is over. Oh my god. He's already got a golden gun and a cowboy hat. What more do you need to be baller Western? That's amazing.
He doesn't have a cowboy hat, though, does he?
No, we need to get him one.
Yeah, I was gonna say he probably has a sideways Yankees hat,
Okay.
but
And we
Or
could make
straight
one. He's got a
brimful.
bunch of spare bed sheets.
Cloth cowboy
We
hat.
Gotta make do.
I mean, this is in RimWorld. You
He
can't make
certainly
cowboy
carries
hats
around
out of
here.
cloth.
We've
Sorry.
been to like 4 planets and there's been not a single cow.
Oh no. Oh no, I bet he's got a hat for this because of his hat-a-day thing.
Wait, maybe we could use some of our rations. We've got bits of deep swimmer.
wait, he has the right microphone live, right?
No. Oh, he's come back.
Oh no!
Got his
I
hat
see
collector.
so many
like a
hats.
Corsair's hat or whatever. Oh, okay, good. Actually, it's not bad.
It's not designed to
It's
look
not
the
bad.
headset.
Oh god, I'm gonna
Yeah,
miss
yeah.
this show so much. Right.
There we go.
I
Stax
feel like that
goes
one's
into his
supposed to
room.
come
He
with an
comes out
Australian
with
accent.
a big like black Texan cowboy hat. Yeah, I killed a fool one time, and he had this on him.
Oh god.
I feel that EE has had control of Stax for like all of, I don't know, how long have we been going for? All of the time, half hour, and he's completely undone all of the coolness that Stax had managed to accrue.
It's
seriously-
a work. It takes effort to do that. It's an art.
I feel like any intimidation factor that Stax has ever had just never existed.
Yeah, I have to make you
Yeah.
work for it now.
Yeah, he's just not scary anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I want to give him a hug and eat a steak. All right, wrestle up some bull, some cattle. All right,
Okay.
so. Sorry,
Do we know
you had said a
anything of
line,
this
and I
ship?
don't remember what you said. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Turn into Cooper. Do we know anything of this ship? How fast is it?
Not much. It's probably better than ours in a couple of different ways. I mean, it probably doesn't have nukes. We've got that going for us.
A mercy. Delilah, how long ago before we arrived did he leave?
I actually, I can just out of game. You saw him walk out
Oh, did we?
as you were walking up. Yeah, you literally watched him walk away.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll go back on that then. It's been a little while. Cooper, if you were in his position, how much of a priority would you make it to get that weapon?
That sort of artifact, I'd do it pretty damn quick. I mean,
know
maybe they have
little
other
of the
business they have
value
to
of these
attend to before they
artifacts.
leave.
Most of this ship seems magical to me, but if it's something that he would prioritize, then we might have scarce few minutes to make a decision, or any advantage we might have, any ability to beat him to the chase might be gone.
Well, the ship's not exactly in a state to be giving chase quite yet. Do I know how long there is left for the work?
Probably about. I mean, how long? You've been here a day at least. So you've been here 2 days, and they did say they
We've
could
been
do
here.
it.
We've been here several days because I spent a lot of time carousing at bars.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right.
So it's probably not that many hours left to be done. Like a few hours, probably a handful. That's why they're doing the outside finishing.
Is there any way that we could? I mean, I wouldn't know, but that the characters that would know if we could leave like now as is without it being a danger.
That's actually what Ulysses was about to ask, because let's assume that we just had this discussion. No, it's been a few days. There's a couple of hours left. Is the ship in a state that we could fly? I don't know what they're doing outside. Are the repairs that they're affecting essential, or can we just leave now?
We could leave now. I'll get on the sensors and see what they're doing.
He probably has to get clearance, right? If he's military or something, he probably has to call to the higher ups, file a report, make clearance. He probably has some red tape that's going to slow
in
him
Star Trek
down.
numbers, there's no intergalactic calling of people. You have to physically travel to tell anyone anything.
Oh, well, there you go. So he probably has some red tape, unless he has some sort of clearance that makes it so he can just circumvent the red tape in circumstances like these. But even then, there's going to be some degree of red tape, like I have to walk to my ship. We're already sitting in ours.
I'll keep an eye on them and see what they're doing.
There's no means for us to communicate with them over such a vast distance. I mean,
Well, I can scan them, right, and see whether they're still in orbit, that sort of thing.
If they're in orbit at the moment, yeah.
Right. Well, while we're talking, then I'll start making for the bridge so I can start trying to run those scans.
Okay.
Is the ship functional right now? How operational is it with the work being
You get
done?
to the bridge, you do a quick 2-minute like sensor check all the externals, etc. It seems that like they actually did the main fixing of stuff like the workshop and the fuel scoop, etc. That was the main thing they fixed straight away, and then they started doing the effectively the fixing on your what's it called maintenance. So your maintenance has been going down. You've probably got a little bit left to do, but if you leave it as is, give them 15 minutes to finish off whatever they're doing, you can pretty much go.
All right. So can I see the ship in orbit?
Make a pilot intelligence, I believe it is.
All right. I mean, I'm pretty damn good at that, so that's always nice.
Hey.
I guess it'll be a proper one with the D8 and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that's not right. Is that an old? That's not the right roll.
That's the old roll.
I thought I'd updated the macro. Damn it!
You disappoint me, Bentham.
It's a D8 plus 4, right?
Yes.
I think that's what it's become. Something awesome like that. And then yeah, plus 3. So I think this is the correct roll. 15 is nice. Yeah, that's good.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
So I was going to say, so last week, yeah. If you looked at the update, the way that it looked, those papers, I totally misread the update numbers. I was wrong. I was looking at the wrong one. The first roll you did there, the 3d6 keep higher 2, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That is correct. The D8 was from an old update because I looked at the update numbers wrong. Yeah. I just saw them wrong in my head.
Okay.
Because I thought the updates were like 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, all the way up to 10 and then 11. Sorry, all the way up to 10, then 2. But it was not. So I was looking at, yeah. So ignore what I said last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever. I just Delilah'd.
Okay, so the
Yeah, I
first
just
one's
looked at
correct.
it. It's 3d6. So the
I love
first
how
one, yeah.
Delilah is now an
Okay.
adjective.
Oh dear. So yeah, you go to the sensors, you spend about 10 minutes just constantly checking, and as far as you can tell, there is no ship in orbit anymore.
Well, after a moment of like messing around, pressing buttons and stuff. Oh, damn it, I don't see them. They might already be gone. I guess we go as quick as we can. We've got the supplies. We've got most of the repairs.
Maybe
So
maybe
it's
they
just like
haven't.
a few
Maybe
hours
they
of
haven't
work
taken
left
off
to do.
yet. He literally left moments ago. Maybe I mean, this is a way to like instantly transit up there, which I don't think that exists, right? Then he would have to get there.
Oh yeah,
right? So-
is our transport is a thing in Tech 4 and Tech 5? I forget
Only if
exactly
you've
when they
got
turn up.
a telepath to do it for you. Well, not a telepath, a teleporter. A psychic.
Because I thought that they were in orbit, but I guess they might be on shore leave here or whatever. But that was what it was, wasn't it? That when we arrived, they were in orbit and they
When you
stayed
arrived,
there
they
as
were
we
in orbit.
carried on. Oh, so maybe they are landed still. Or they landed in the first place. I relay this to the others. I say, I don't see them in orbit. Maybe they're still landed. I mean, considering the guy was only here a few minutes ago, that's a good sign. If their entire ship's landed, it'll take longer to get up, perhaps, than if they had a shuttle having delivered the crew down.
We need to give
I mean,
them warning. Whatever
How
we
many-
do, we should at least warn them.
Is there like one big ship hangar location here that like all ships have to come to? Is it all like
There's a
one?
couple. You're in the repair one, which is not quite as large as it's just the general landing area.
In that case, I'll say, right, I'm going to go check with whoever I can, see if I can work out whether they're still here or not.
When you say that,
By the
Stax
sounds
kind
of
of
it, they
chimes
are.
in, and Stax goes, "Nah, let me. I'll go check if they're here. If they are, I'll shoot them. If they aren't, you take off, and I'll make sure I kill anyone left."
All right, yeah, go see who you can find.
And with that,
Give Stax a
Stax
nod.
puts his shotgun over his back, walks out of Delilah ready.
Donna. What?
No,
Delilah.
not Delilah ready.
Just pick
Donna.
Delilah. Go.
Just like
Just
break
saying,
her leg and...
he loves Delilah so much, he renames Donna after her. He's like, you know what? She is the best member of this
That is totally
party.
not canon. No, that's too far in for me. But does someone have a comm link so we can actually call you? Because they don't have a comm pad.
Do we not have any of those?
I mean,
He asks this in character, does he?
Well, yeah, he would ask for a comm pad because he needs to be able to call you. Yeah.
We
If
have
there's no
nothing but
compads-
the communications in our suits.
I imagine they're not like removable from the suits, really, so we can't. You can't
They
just
have a
walk down
range
with one
of
of
10
those.
kilometers, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I wasn't imagining Stax would be wearing a suit if he went indoors, but he can if you need him to wear a
The
suit.
only thing we've got.
But I don't know if
Okay.
it could just be like unhooked from where it
I'm
was or
pretty
whatever.
sure
I
last
guess
time you
I'll-
did mention having several comm pads, but if you don't have a comm pad now, for whatever reason, he'll wear a suit.
I personally don't have one because I think, you know what? I think it might be in his inventory.
Okay.
He's ended up with most of the loot, I
Why don't you
think.
just check his inventory?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because
He
he's
did
probably
keep
not
track
written
of
it
a lot of
down,
that, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I love your face. Splat, why did he putting things down in his inventory? No.
Yeah, I was thinking that we had 2 compads, and someone in chat has just said, "Didn't you have 2 compads?" So
no,
I think
he
we've
has
got
2 comm pads in his inventory. He gives one of the
There we
comm
go.
pads to Ulyses.
You owe him an apology, I think.
He puts one of the comm pads to Ulyses, since Ulyses doesn't have a comm pad and you have a data slab, Bentham. So, and he walks off the other one, and he goes out to hunt down whoever's left on the station.
Com link. There you go. Bump, 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 bump. I'm going to assume that's encumbrance 0.
Yeah. Actually, I'll double check that. It might be... I can't double check it. I can't bother.
Even if it's 1,
Yeah.
I'll put it down as 1.
It might be 1 because I think it goes in a slot on your person. Yeah. So, what do you want to do while Stax is out checking?
I'll keep an eye on the sensors to make sure we don't see the ship rocketing off at some point.
Okay. Make me a pilot intelligence check.
11, and actually that should be 1 more now. Because, well, I guess at this point the maintenance is mostly done, so we've ticked back to not having a negative
Yes.
on rolls. So yeah, that should be a 12. I will fix the
Okay.
macros.
You get a vague reading. It could be an anomaly. Somewhere on the other side of the planet. Coming from one of your rebounding sensor transmissions off one of the moons nearby. So it could just be an anomaly just bouncing back off the moon. Or it could just be something. You're not sure.
Is it indicating like what sort of is it? Does it look like a ship leaving?
An energy signature of some kind, like a drive being spooled up or something.
I'll mention this to the others. I'm picking up something. It's on the other side of the planet, but somewhere in that direction, a ship is currently leaving. It looks like.
Have you any means of identifying it? I'm sure there are ships coming and going regularly enough with this world.
I wouldn't know their spike drive signature anyway.
Is there any way that we can, when a ship uses this spike drive, does it give an indication of the direction they're traveling in? Would we know if they were heading to that world?
Not exactly. Unfortunately, it only works one way with that. You can tell where someone's come from, but not usually where they're going. If they're not particularly trying to hide where they're going, they'll probably just go in the direction of Thor anyway.
I think it's pretty safe to assume that's where they're going to be going. Or even if that's not the case, shouldn't we just go there anyways?
This is my
To
thoughts.
give them a heads up. Whether
if they
we
haven't taken the initiative to go there, but they made it clear enough that they had interest in this weapon, then that just gives us more time to warn our friends.
Blub, blub, blub. Blub, blub, blub. Blub, blub, blub. Your compact goes off.
Okay.
Hey! I'm in a firefight over here, and you see the sound of gunfire in the background, the crack of laser rifles. Seems they may have left in their shuttle.
I'm providing sound effects.
Okay, good. They're top quality sound effects there at Roll4It.
Well, I'll go over and answer. Where are you? Who are you fighting?
I don't know. Seems some of their boys they left behind in the background. Just, I'm caught.
Boom.
Give me a sec. I don't know. Their shell took off about 20 minutes ago, according to the foreman. I mean, before I shot him.
You shot. Oh god. Okay, right. Try and get back here if you can.
I don't know. If you want to chase him, I have to leave now. I'm just gonna shoot some fools.
Well, if you're okay with that.
Was that our mechanic?
I'm more than okay with that.
Right. Good luck. We'll be back for you in a couple of weeks, I guess.
Without our mechanic? We're going without
All
our
right.
mechanic?
No time to waste. Let's get moving.
But it's without our mechanic.
So what do you do?
Beep, beep, beep.
I guess there are people working on the outside of the hull literally at this moment.
Yes, you haven't told them to move.
Okay, then I'm going to quickly... I guess can I just contact whoever's in charge of the current people present on the... I imagine that everyone has a compad usually.
Hello? How can I help you?
I leave the room at this point, and go ahead, have the conversation, but I'll be talking at the same time. So you finish this conversation, and that'll give me some time.
Right, this is the DSRV1. Something's come up, and we need to leave quite urgently. Could you recall your crews? You can keep the money that we paid you so far.
Okay, I know deal one's handed to me. And the crew outside start, packing away their equipment, etc. Climbing down. It's going to take them a few minutes by the judging of it.
Okay, while that's going on, I'm actually racing towards Stax's room. I'm moving as fast as I can, and I'm using my comm link to call him. How far away from the ship are you?
I'm over the other side of their colony. They're landed over here.
How far?
Don't know, like a mile or two?
Oh. Wow, you covered that distance quickly. Is there... there's nothing we can do. Well, good luck, Stax. We'll be back a few days if we're back at all. Should I offload anything? Leave it at the hangar for you?
Yeah, those are bed sheets. Still, I never paid for them.
I never took any. I literally have been sleeping without bed sheets this entire time, you fucking bastard. Sorry about the nukes, though. I really am.
See what I can do. And I'm just staying in his room at the golden toilet.
Can't
And
really move it, so...
How heavy is it?
It's attached to the actual ship, it's
Would
integrated.
about 400 kilos of lifting power be enough to pull it up?
What's your mechanic skill?
Oh, no, I'm just talking about ripping it out.
You have no
This is
idea.
not-
Well,
This is gonna go
very easy
badly.
for me to try. The door's closed behind me, and I try telekinesis to lift it up.
Okay.
Doesn't it contain a black hole?
If you
I
can
don't know.
roll me your telekinesis skill?
There's no scale. If it's within 400 kilos, I can lift it.
If it's not attached to anything, if it's attached to something, I want you to make effectively a strength test, which will be your psychic
strength
skill.
test.
So it's your psychic skill isn't actually on the sheet. So if you can, what's your level in psychic? What's your rank in it?
And telekinesis is 1.
Okay, so it'll be your wisdom or constitution. You get to pick +1.
Okay.
So roll that like a normal skill. So wisdom or telekinesis +1.
Exert, constitution +1. Because my exert is 0, so it'll have
Yeah,
no
that'll work. That'll work
problems.
then.
Constitution +1. 9.
Okay, so focusing on the toilet. Do you have the door open or closed behind you?
No, I closed the door behind me.
You close the door behind you. So with the door closed behind you, the lights kind of on, giving a baleful flicker as you start focusing, and there's a shudder. Bentham, you definitely feel that the ship is starting to vibrate a little bit.
Oh, God.
The toilet
The hell is that?
I'm going to TPK.
starts ripping off the ground, and as soon as it lifts off, you notice beneath it a tiny, tiny speck of what looks like pure blackness. It's so incredibly black that you cannot see through it. And in fact, the area around it seems to be warped. Like, it's like looking through a fishbowl. And as soon as you rip the toilet off, these little emitters that seem to be sparking suddenly just go... And the toilet goes... Tink, pulls off, and then... Straight down. Along with a good chunk of the ship around it, I need you to make a strength saving throw. A physical saving throw.
Oh my god. Team PK, first 50 minutes.
It might well just be like, guys, this is a 1 hour session tonight. There we go, we've ended it.
Entire planet gets sucked into black hole.
So they installed the black hole into the ship.
They just built a toilet around it.
I mean,
Yeah, they
to be
just
fair,
built the
even though
toilet.
Ulyses doesn't get that, that was defined several times in the past several sessions.
Oh, no, there was a
but
black hole
Ulyses
in
wouldn't
it.
get it.
Oh, no. I mean, I didn't get it. I assumed that the toilet was basically a very high-tech container, but, magnetic fields kind of move things within them. That's kind of how the various nuclear reactors that rely on magnetic fields instead of like a wall made of metal to hold something in work.
Stax made
on
several
the plus
jokes
side-
about his brown hole feeding the black hole. So, just...
On the plus side, it might stop the guys from getting away. If the planet just collapses behind them.
Consume the planet.
That's
Maybe the star
true.
too. Maybe the star too.
So make that physical saving throw. Everyone's deathly quiet.
Really certain that a small black hole would last only for a fraction of a second, wouldn't affect the planet, but would massively kill all of us using radiation.
A fraction of a second of a black hole is so much power.
A fraction of a second of
No,
a black
if-
hole actually
if
isn't when it's
Light
really small.
can't pass.
No, it's not.
Because of the way a black hole works, because their surface area, when they're so small, is so large compared to their volume, they radiate most of their power incredibly quick, and that's why the half-lives
Yeah.
are so very, very small. You need a certain size black hole for it to actually last in terms of years.
Yeah, but how much damage could they do in those couple of seconds?
Oh, quite a lot.
Or even that fraction of a second. You know what I mean? Like
It's
a
mostly
black hole for a
radiation.
fraction of a second on a planet.
Mostly radiation, not gravity at that point.
Fair enough.
It'll
fair enough.
expel an enormous amount of energy as radiation and then be gone.
I say you try to harness it. Take that black hole and mix it with your soul and try to become like Adam or something.
So if you rolled
You know
a
what I
physical
mean?
saving throw,
Who's rolling it?
you are, because you're in the room.
Okay.
God.
2 versus 12.
Oh, you can't do much worse. You can't do much worse.
Well, at least it wasn't a 1.
That's true.
Oh my god.
Oh. Okay, Well, I guess this is one way to go.
Oh my god. Ulysses! Ulysses!
You take 16 points of damage as you are caught off guard, and your legs just go from under you, being closest to the toilet, your knees buckling, and just you fly across the deck straight towards the black hole as it flickers and closes in and starts to erupt a sort of bluish colored glow, and you hit it at the same point that it poof, there's a flash of light. You feel like every bone in your lower body has been pulped with a tenderizing mallet. Are you dead?
-3.
-3. Yeah, so technically you're bleeding out right now. Delilah, where were you when this went down? Were you in the bridge or in the general quarters?
I was in the kind of still sitting there perplexed with the fact that I gave away these secrets. So I'm probably the room right outside of Stax's bedroom. Yeah, because like that's the mess hall. So I'm right there.
So while you're in the mess
fuck.
hole, I need you to make a physical saving throw.
Do I have to?
Oh
no,
my
you could
God.
choose to fail.
No. I'm not taking that.
Oh, my lord.
Woo!
Whoa.
Okay, so you're just sitting at one of the chairs next to the table. in the main kitchen area as suddenly there's a shudder, and then the entire world feels like it's been tipped upside down, and suddenly you find yourself flying towards one wall of the actual room, the wall that contains Stax's bedroom. All the cutlery, the sharp knives, all the objects in here suddenly just get pulled physically out of all the slots that they're normally occupying. Luckily, however, you manage to tumble backwards and only take 2d6 divided by 2. Oh.
I don't think you can divide by.
If I do it right, I can, I think. You take 5 points of damage.
Oh, okay. I see what you gotcha. So I take 5. I would like to, what is the word? I don't know if I can do it now in a couple moments, but I would like to torch to see the immediate future of a minute to see how things are going to play out, but go ahead.
Okay. You find yourself collapsing backwards against the wall, chairs and tables crashing over you, but you manage to roll underneath the table that kind of lands, and you're mostly protected from the impact. The sheer force of the initial blow does take the wind out of you, but other than that, you're okay. Bentham, in the bridge, Cooper, sorry, you notice suddenly the power go off, and you are suddenly thrown backwards in your seat, but you're far enough away and you're in your seat that doesn't really affect you very much. You do notice, however, that the power along one side of the corridor for the habitation area just completely goes out. And you find a really weird gravimetric distortion happens on your sensors, and you're like, no, the sensors must be wrong. That looked like a miniature black hole. Make a knowledge intelligence check.
Knowledge intelligence, I can do that. Don't make a wisdom. I press the button, you can't stop me. 9?
You might draw the conclusion that that's Stax's room, Stax and the black hole in his toilet. That was a gravimetric.
So I have to collect myself as to what the hell happened. I got, oh no, what's he done? And I quickly start running to the mess.
So Daelric. So Delilah, you torch to look into the future?
Yep, I gotta roll a d6 to see what happens when I do that. 1 second. 6, nothing happens.
Huh, no negative effect.
No negative effect. So Delilah focuses her newly experienced powers and looks into the future. She opens her eyes, and they're a pure, radiating reddish purple as Cooper actually walks around the corner and sees Delilah there, eyes kind of glazed, this very faint sort of golden mist coming off them. Delilah, you look a few seconds into the future, and looking forwards, you see outside workers who are working on your spaceship kind of gagging and spitting up blood. You notice some of them nearby have been pulled over and collapsed under machinery as the sheer force of gravitation has caused large, heavy machines to fall on people, and they are crushed like someone had stamped on an ant. Inside the ship itself, you see Ulyses torn apart, bones broken, pulped bruises up him, and you see Cooper coughing
always from their own personal vantage point. She can see nothing beyond what she can see with her eyes from where she is right now. When you started explaining things outside, I was like, is that how it works?
It's a personal vantage point where you are in that one at a time, though.
Yeah, it's a technique. Yeah. But go ahead.
Once triggered, the adept gets a single brief vision related to the question about the future that they're asking. This vision is always from their own personal vantage point and never reveals more than a minute of insight.
Okay, well, I'll take that as vantage point from where you will be in the future, or is it where you are now?
From their own personal vantage point, so it's where they are right now.
Right now, okay.
They ask a question and they get the answer of 1 minute into the future answering that question.
Sure. Okay, in which case, what is your question then, Daelric?
What the fuck?
Okay, in which case, when you see this in the future, you do see that outside, but it's through a very narrow gap, which is the door that's behind you, which leads to Stax's room, and you can see out that most of the hull has been ripped away in certain parts, and that you see Cooper bending down over Ulyses, trying to resuscitate him. However, Cooper is distracted by the fact that he too is coughing up blood.
Okay. So, do I know of any...
Well, it looks like blood, but it's more oil for you, I guess. Because you
Do I
have
know
a
that-
very synthetic, similar substitute underneath your skin because you're wearing the armature.
Do we have like Rad-X or anything like that, or some sort
Any
of
tier
chemical
4
that
med
can-
bay will have radiation treatment available.
So seeing that is my immediate future and this is horrifying, I'm immediately going to run to the med bay
Okay,
and
Cooper,
try
you
to
walk
get
in.
whatever that is to
Delilah
not
is just
die.
running to the med bay now. The gold fleck's starting to disappear from her eyes. You notice
So I'm just running to see Delilah running off to the medbay and
behind Delilah,
also...
though, you notice that there is a door and a wall that look like they've been pulled inwards and bowed slightly in places.
I'm just muttering, what have you done? What have you done? As I get to the door and open it. I don't know if it's like a slide open, in which case I'm just hammering the button.
Yeah, the button is not working very well. It kind of opens a crack and you can see Ulyses' prone form in there.
I will try and pull the door open.
Okay, make me an exert
Is it
check.
just like an emergency release thing for these sort of situations?
It depends, because is this the sort of ship that would have a release that would make the door open, or in emergency situations with the door bolt? Because there's two ways that works. One,
Probably
where
open,
it's
knowing
wrong.
this being
Okay,
a
all power
habitation
goes down.
room.
It's manually movable, or it's dangerous. Shunt the bolts.
You can have a choice. You can either do some sort of mechanic check to try and release the door, or you can exert to force the door open.
Uh,
And there is a timer on this.
I'll try exert,
Okay.
because I'm a robot now, so I'm better at that.
Yeah, with a 9, the door opens about 3/4, enough to be able to get through. You now see inside that there is a chunk of the deck below has just been scooped up and torn. Everything that was not pinned down in the room has just seemingly disappeared, a few items having been flung outwards through what appears to be a small crack in the side of the hull. Ulysses' body is prone there. It looks like he's gone through kind of a steak tenderizer.
Is the diamond still in the wall? The big one. Is it still in the wall? Or did that get ripped out of the wall?
As far as you can see, there is nothing not pinned down in this room now.
Ah.
It was inside the wall, right? So it might be okay, maybe?
We don't even know it's there.
Yeah,
but
we
maybe
don't know
it
it's
ripped
there,
open enough
so-
We can find it. Maybe we can find it now.
So yeah, Ulysses is in front of you. Delilah, at this stage, you rush back in with all these Rad-X treatments in front of you. You're not sure which one to pick. All of them just say, in case of radiation. Make me a medicine check. Delilah?
Okay. I'm like, I don't want to. Let's see. And that's wisdom, which is my worst stat, and a skill that I'm not trained in. This is going to be awful. Not terrible.
6 is enough to go through the first aid supplies and find which ones are an immediate exposure to radiation. Take this. That is just enough. 6 is the threshold I was looking for from that one. So you rush in, you have all these hypodermic injectors for injecting someone in case of radiation exposure.
Cool. So I'm going to because there's a bunch of them there or whatever, I'm totally going to take one and hit me with it, but I need to go get back to the others as well. I even saw Cooper, the robot, bleeding out from this crap. I don't know if it affects him the same way, but he thinks he's human. So I'm going to stab myself with one of them and start trying to head my way back.
Okay. You get to them quite easily. Cooper, what are you doing?
Well, I guess I can attempt to try and stabilize Ulysses. And what I'll do to that end is I will pull out a Lazarus patch that I have. And then I will check what the rules for that are, because I don't know them.
Okay, while you quickly look up Lazarus patch, Control F, Lazarus should find it.
It is a skill. It's a heal check, DC only 6 to stabilize, as opposed to one of the higher ones.
There we go. Make a medicine check.
All right.
Actually,
What attributes
micro
is it
black
used
hole
with?
wouldn't be releasing the sort of radiation would do this to us. It would be heat. It would be releasing Hawking
Oh,
radiation.
don't say that. That's worse.
It wouldn't be enough to cook us. It would actually have to have a black hole of significant mass to do any of the stuff we're talking about. Just as a point, before someone posts comment about it,
Space magic.
just saying it now.
At the same
yeah,
time, this is a
wouldn't happen, but
special
for the
black hole
narrative-
because if it did detonate, you would all be very, very dead. It was built in with certain safeguards. The certain safeguards are still not enough to protect you if you're in the area around it, but there are certain safeguards to prevent you destroying a chunk of a planet. So yeah, what are you doing? If you make a heal check, Cooper. Delilah, what are you doing?
What is the attribute?
Wisdom.
Heal. Oh.
I can't see what the
10.
Oh, hey.
Sure.
Ulysses. Cooper runs over to you, finding you prone on the ground, most of your torso kind of a little bit open and black and blue. He just slaps this laser patch on you, which instantly starts unfolding, ching, 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 until it covers about half your torso. And then little, like, grey sections of your skin start appearing as they move around through your veins, starting to repair you, because the laser patch is basically nanites.
Oh, okay.
And as that happens, the bleeding and the bruising seems to go down a little bit, and then Ulysses is awake. Meanwhile, Delilah is running around, and as soon as Ulysses goes, stabs him in the neck for
I'm stabbing Cooper, not Havoc.
Cooper first. Okay, you stab.
Yeah,
Cooper.
we got to keep the living one alive to make sure that he can help the dying one.
Yeah, Cooper, make a physical saving throw.
Is this for the needle to fail? Something like that.
This is a physical saving throw for something else.
Okay.
Woohoo!
I succeed.
Okay.
I was wondering if the needle would just like break.
You don't know what happened. Something did, but you don't know what.
Presumably something good.
You take 1 point of damage as your electrical components start to fry a little bit from exposure to hard radiation. But that's all.
Do I get any, like, diagnostic things telling me that something's not right?
Yeah, your, like, diagnostics would tell you that you're having some technical difficulties. They wouldn't tell you, like, radiation or anything because you don't have built-in sensors for that, but they would tell you that you are having some damage taken by your circuits.
Yeah, I stop for a minute and blink and go, oh, that's not good. I start pulling Ulysses towards the med bay just because that seems like better placed than in here.
Okay. Delilah, are you stabbing Ulysses as well, or are you going to leave him?
I'm definitely going to stab him as well. I care more about Ulysses than anybody else.
What's my health at the moment?
It should be back on minimum, I believe, so it should be on, like, 1.
1. Okay.
Well, that was a lethal wound, too, so if you take any damage from anything, you did. Unless you have, like, really high bio crap to fix that.
Yeah. So with that, Ulysses, you get stabbed in the neck with a hypodermic syringe.
Okay.
And you get to the med bay. You're all kind of in the med bay, noticing that a lot of things in here have been knocked over, and it's kind of all over the floor. Part of which was obviously the toilet going up, and part of which was Delilah looking for radiation treatment. What do you want to do?
I'm just
At one
checking
health,
Ulysses over,
I'm probably
like,
in such
I
a bad
call-
way that I'm only groaning as communication. So, I was like,
Don't
Looking
mess
at
with
the
black holes.
looking at the damaged ship and everything that we're supposed to now take into the vacuum of space. Who knows what's even happening in the lack of atmosphere here? But anyways, I look at Cooper and I'm like, I think we need Stax.
He's bleeding miles away. He might be dead by now.
We're going to be dead soon if we don't have somebody to fix the ship. Who else keeps this thing plugging along when nothing else is working?
Also, based on what we just did, we might have to leave pretty quick before the employers of everyone out there find out what just happened.
Oh, shit. All right, hey, I'll keep after him. You make sure that we're not going to die, because there was a hole in the ship.
All right, I'll see if I can do anything about the breach myself. I'll see what I can do about Stax, and if all those fails, I guess we could just set off and hope. I run over to Stax's room and assess the damage.
I'm going to grab, like, Ulysses' hand and, like, see if I get his attention and just kind of, like, look and see if he's, like, cognizant of what's going on around him.
I am conscious, aren't I, E?
You are conscious.
Okay. And I'll, like, tighten my grip on her hand as a means of communicating. My eyes kind of lazily moving over, but I imagine from the way you described, my eyes are mostly swollen shut.
Yeah, you're pretty heavily hurt. I mean, you know, with the effects that they've given you, with the nanites, etc., that swelling will go down rapidly. But even then, yeah, you're right. You will have some unwanted hurt right now.
I don't want to ask this question. Oh, go ahead.
Sure. Cooper, you go over to the damage room. The crack is fairly minor. You could probably fix that relatively easily. Certainly since your supplies and stuff, the ship has been refilled, etc. Beyond that, your ship certainly has taken on a bit of damage. We will be talking damage to the ship in a second when you start taking off.
Oh, God. We fixed the negatives. They've been doubled. I don't want to ask this question, but now I actually take the moment to look at Avic and not Avic, sorry, Ulyses, and I want to know what is the extent of the damage to his body.
Mostly superficial, looks like. There is.
Oh my God, the limb is missing.
Maybe some sprains here and there. A lot of bruising, possibly.
Is this due to the Lazarus patch? Repairing it, because the way you described it sounded like
the Lazarus patch has done a good deal of job immediately. Maybe some cracked ribs, etc. But beyond that, it doesn't look like anything major is actually physically fully broken. He is still able to move around a fair amount.
Okay, so knowing that it's not as gruesome as my mind's eye was telling me, thank God, I'm just kind of like...
I imagine it, since I was -3 and he described me actually getting pulled towards his black hole and just, I'd been pummeled by a nuke tendril. There's probably blood, but then no wounds where the blood came from, but it's still fresh because it's only minutes later. So it's clearly the Lazarus patch is doing its job.
Oh, I'm sorry, by mind's eye, I meant Delilah's foreseeing of the future and notice that you're missing limbs. Yeah, not Derek's mind's eye.
The oracular power is not guaranteed. It is really far along. You can actually get that power to the point where you tell the GM what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And your power is so good, it comes to pass. As long as you don't do anything that really aggressively tries to deviate. But as long as it's within the realms of possibility, it happens. But it's
I don't think I'm
such
going
a hard
to make
power.
it to level 5 to train this skill, though. So I'm just saying, yeah. One way or the other. Delilah ain't making it. So,
torch everything.
So, seeing that that's better, she kind of looks him over, sees that he's doing much better, and she will grip his hand and be like, Yuli, it's not as bad as I'm sure it felt at the moment. Cooper saved you. You're gonna be okay, but I need to make sure that we can still stop them because our friends are still at risk because of me. So
at this point, I just kind of grown up. I just wanted to leave it for Stax.
I have no clue what you're talking about, but I thought, wait, that wasn't them? I thought they attacked us from orbit. I thought that was them stopping us from stopping them. He read our minds and thought that that's where we were. You did this?
I tried to take him his golden toilet.
Why would you try to pick that thing up? It was fused to the ship.
Because he loves it so much. He keeps talking about it.
You're not that big. How were you hugging the bowl and trying to bear lift it? Oh,
I did, and then it disappeared, and I fell over.
Oh God, you damned fool! Well, let's. Oh my God, I thought that was them attacking us. Oh, I thought it was an orbital strike.
What other things happened to the room, by the way? What was the damage to the structure of the room?
A good chunk of the deck has been taken out. The walls are kind of bowed. There's certainly a little bit of a crack, but actually it's not that bad. I rolled the damage to the ship, and it's actually only take 2 hit points of damage.
Oh, that's not too bad.
So all in all, mostly superficial.
Good. Listen, I gotta go and see what you... We've all made our mistakes today. And she pats him on the hand and goes and walks out of the room.
Okay. As she's leaving, I go, wait, what is this? And I look down at the Lazarus patch. And there's this really long, awkward silence.
As Delilah sits there staring at Ulyses' chest.
No, I said I left. I said I
said
left to go help out.
I get out. I said, wait, what is this? And I'm looking down at the Lazarus patch. Did I cut out?
I don't know. I hear you.
Delilah decides to walk out anyway, despite the fact that Ulysses is like, "What is this? What is this? No!"
Wait, do you ask me?
Yeah. As you
Oh,
They're
I
in
thought
the
you were
room.
asking EE. Okay, I'm so sorry. I thought you were asking EE. I must have missed one word. Say that a
In
third
character?
time. Say that a third time. So, what was that?
He's looking down at the Lazarus patch and
Yeah.
saying, "What is this? What's it doing?"
Oh, it's advanced medicine that'll keep you alive. Just let it do its work. I really gotta see if we could go try to catch up to them.
Okay,
Just stay still for a little bit.
And I lie down on what is probably the operating table in the med bay.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Firefly, like infirmary. It's
Okay.
got one bed. That's it. Cooper, looking at the ship, actually that crack I mentioned in the wall is mostly superficial. You can actually retain air, judging by that HP I rolled. 2 hit points off. Yeah, the ship's pretty fine. Rewrote a bit of power.
Oh, well.
But yeah.
Yeah, well, seeing that, then I'll leave Stax's room. I'll seal the doors to his room, just in case that helps. I don't know if his room itself is...
You try and seal the door, it doesn't seal. It seems someone forced it open recently.
Can we?
It'll have to
Can
do.
we take the remaining sheets and just kind of like stuck those into the crack and see if that does the
Yeah,
trick?
Delilah, as you go to get the sheets, you pull them up. They stop about there.
Yeah.
It looks like the rest of the sheets have been torn off for some reason or whatever.
Worth a try. And then I'll just drop the sheets and head to go join Cooper in the bridge.
Okay.
I'm running back to the bridge. I'm quickly checking sensors, and this time just looking at the immediate surrounds of the hangar that we're in.
Quite quickly you notice that the hangar seems to be on lockdown. It looks like everything is pretty locked down in here. It looks like someone decided that they were under attack or something from within the bay, and they just shut the entire area off.
Does that mean we can't leave unless they unlock it?
Well, the roof above you is locked or closed. You still have a couple of feeds feeding into the ship from the main area that no one actually managed to disconnect, though.
Right, then I will try and hail whoever is in charge. I don't know how this hangar works. I imagine there's an office or something, or there's the guy we talked to start with. But I'll try and contact him, because I imagine he put it on lockdown.
Hey, hello. What do you want?
Are you currently overseeing the hangar the DSRV-1 is parked in?
You mean the hangar we just got attacked in? Something on your ship exploded.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. There was some sort of accident. It's a bit of a mess. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, 2 of my guys are in there. Look like they're dead.
Oh, God.
One of them owed me money.
Or maybe the extra money we paid you might help? Is it okay if we leave? I'm afraid it's quite urgent.
Okay, so let me just check. You decide to blow something up in the middle of my hangar. You killed 2 of my employees. And you say, oh, the extra 2,000 you paid me, is that enough so we can escape from an active crime scene?
It was an accident.
I love how innocently honest he is. It was an accident, though. You're not meant to be mad if I say sorry.
I'll give you points for trying, but I'm not sure. Make a negotiate roll of some kind. Make a
You're
talk
too
roll.
gentle a soul for this cruel world that we live in.
Should I even try and negotiate?
You can
I'm
try
bad
to
at-
talk.
I'm bad at those as they are. Let's try it, just 'cause it'll be hilarious if I get a perfect roll. There's always that chance it'd be brilliant. Nah, 5.
Oh yeah, let me just unlock the hangar. And no! Beep. Line cuts dead.
I will run back into the mess and say, they've locked the hangar down. We're not leaving until, in a long time. I guess we got the option of giving up the chase or
We
making
can't give
things
up
significantly worse.
We can't give up the chase, Cooper. Listen, we can't do it. We're gonna make things worse if we stay here. Can't you like open it up? You always say you're good at computers, but never really use them. Can you do it?
I just stopped and think, yeah, I might be able to do that. Hold on, and I run back to the bridge and get the
I am
slab.
good at computers. Yeah, going back to the bridge, you notice that a lot of the feeds and stuff they've hooked in for diagnostics from their actual computer to be able to judge, they're still plugged in. Like, no one had a chance to unplug them. So you do actually have an entryway to the computer that actually manages this area.
All right. In that case, I guess we're doing the proper hacking stuff. I'll go look up because there's different questions you can ask. It's finally come up after all this time. Now, where the hell's the page on hacking?
It's under systems. I think it's like it's right by where like injury and stuff like that is. I can look if you don't get there before me.
Systems is 46.
Drive.
This thing needs more detailed contents, though it does sort of make sense it doesn't have those because it's still being worked on.
This is what happens when we use in-progress rules, people. Still faster than Shadowrun.
No. I imagine the table of contents is going to be pretty much the same. Thank you. Because that actually works.
I think the thing I want...
Scene saves.
Would it be subvert a system?
Yeah.
Right, difficulty 10.
Hacking, here you go.
Applying the proper modifiers. Oh, this is going to make it quite awkward.
It was going to say, you take a penalty because you're doing this on the fly, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
rush work for an unplanned hack increases the difficulty by 2.
Yeah.
Oh shit, is that a difficulty of 12?
It's a difficulty of 12, yeah.
Why is it difficulty 12?
Subvert a system is 10 plus 2 because it's rush work for an unplanned hack. So that's awful. Oh man.
Best of luck.
I'll be kind of.
Is this a minor government or a major corporation?
No.
Okay, good.
I think it's because the hacking rules for this are written for like planned runs where like you work it all out in advance and then execute it.
I'll be kind as a GM and I'll say that because you had that awesome line earlier, I will reduce the difficulty a little bit, and also reduce the difficulty because, quite frankly, they haven't really intended this to be a security system. It's just meant to be open and closed for letting air in or out of this area. It's not actually designed to be secure in any way. The security systems actually go a little bit further in for actually getting into the complex itself. So I'll say this will be a difficult. Instead of 12, I'll say it's a 9.
All right, I'll take that.
It rolls an 8.
10.
I got it.
One was rolled first, so I was
about
like, no.
30 seconds of typing into this black data slab that he has in front of him in the middle of the mess hall with everything scattered around, you will hear a doo-doo, and suddenly silence.
Whoops. It's not where I go. Oh, I should have.
I love how you just killed everyone else that was in the hangar.
Well, was anyone else in, or were they all? I imagine they'd all like run away.
I imagine that the emergency crews were going out there to pick up all the people who were bleeding on the floor from their eyes and their ears.
I think I hear die somewhere like in the background.
Yeah, somewhere.
Somewhere
A bunch of people.
Outside, we'll cut to 2 NPCs. There are 2 NPCs. The crew don't know this, but for the sake of everyone at home, there's one NPC who's crushed under what appears to be like a forklift truck that's just fallen over and has destroyed his legs. He's there, kind of trapped, and his buddy's walking over to him, coughing up blood right now. Dominic, we'll get you out of here. Don't worry. I know you've got a newlywed bride and a child on the way. But damn it, man! Don't die on me! Don't... And the air just goes... His lungs go... out of his mouth as the depressurization just causes him to turn inside out. And they both go... up into the air as they're sucked out, and then gravity reasserts itself and they collapse outside. Back inside the ship...
Well done. Well done.
I will immediately fire the engines and get out of there as quick as I can.
Delilah
Okay.
didn't notice this happened, right?
No.
Good. Good answer.
As
Good
you
answer.
fire the
Read that.
engines, Dominic, who apparently has just about survived, still kind of undergoing the death throes, his lungs kind of destroyed, but enough oxygen in his brain, falls down behind the engine and is incinerated. His wedding ring slowly melting off his finger as it turns to ash and bone, and then to dust. You take off into the sky. As you look behind you, the complex is in a little bit of a state, as you see blue flashing and red flashing lights heading towards the docking port you were leaving from.
Quick question though. Does Cooper look back? Or does he just keep his eyes
Cool
steely
guys
forward
don't
as
look
things
at
explode behind him?
explosions.
We need to know. This is important.
Yeah, this is very
Do you
important.
actually check?
I mean, physically I can't, but I imagine I'm looking at the sensor readout.
Oh, man,
Yeah, he
not-
does
So
look at
I
the
will know
rear-facing
what's
camera.
happening behind me.
Yep.
We have cameras?
I'm going to roll some dice then, if you're checking behind you properly.
The benefits of looking at explosions.
Okay.
Your retinas burn. Oh, wait. Yours are fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I need something not a 10.
I don't like this result. I want to roll. Really don't like this result. Damn it. This is a 10. You have to
11,
check.
there we go. I need something
Oh.
higher or lower than a 10. So, with 11 damage, as you look behind, you notice cracks forming on the edge of the dome tunneled entryway towards the dome itself. And then there's a... And it just disappears along one edge in a cloud of little white bits of shrapnel.
Let me just get out the star charts and mark this particular thing with a red X.
Right, now, when you said dome, are you talking about a dome that is specific to the hangar? A dome corridor between the hangar and, like, the big domes?
So it was the
Or
corridor on the section
kind
of
of
the
the big
smaller
domes.
dome leading to the other dome. So it was probably a good fifth of the colony and the actual gantry-way leading to the repair complex.
And the question is, does Cooper check in with Stax?
Would Stax have been in one of those bits?
We don't know. He said he was about a mile away.
It's probably beyond that area of the dome, I have to admit. You were... The dome isn't massive. That dome was a smaller one.
You're seeing that go, oh,
Luckily, since that was a dome part that leads to a lot of cargo areas, etc., because it's got a lot of repair areas and hangars and stuff nearby, it was less populated than the other domes. That was much more cargo. Probably life support systems, food supplies have been delivered.
I grab my data slab and attempt to contact Stax.
Are you staying within 10 kilometers? Because you would have to slow down and stop very close. Ships move fast in no atmosphere.
Could I use like the ship's own communication
Yeah, you can
systems
use
or
the ship's
something?
own communication system. That's a good point.
Right, I will use that to try and contact him then. Stax, are you there?
You hear the sound of rushing wind in his comlink, and yeah, I'm here. What happened? He's just shouting, trying to hear, like, get the sound through over the sound of this rushing air that's going past him.
I say, there's a breach. If you can get somewhere sealed. Oh God, I'm sorry.
Another way.
Fucking Cooper! Then there's a sound of a tink, 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 and then a smash as the comlink obviously comes free.
Wow.
He called him just to make sure he knows who did it.
That's
Just
why.
to make sure he knows. He does the nice words and he puts in the nice voice just because, he likes to make sure you know that he enjoyed it. Oh, are you okay?
Cooper's
Are you
such
gonna
a
make
savage.
maybe you can
Such a
make it.
savage.
I do like how he still answered his compat even though he's hanging on for dear life somewhere.
Just
Like the
savage.
ringtone went off and he's like, really, this is not the time. Took one hand off whatever he was hanging on to.
I imagine he's got hands free, it's fine. So with that, you head off into the space above.
Sad part about this is I kind of know what's coming. And I don't know if Cooper is cottoned on yet.
Make a pilot intelligence check.
Alright. Eight.
Okay. Let me...
Wow. Low roll. For you, that was a low roll.
Okay, that was
I
good
did
enough,
do a proper
though.
pilot check. I didn't do it with the 3 dice.
Okay. Roll an extra dice
Doesn't-
and then...
Yeah, I'd only get to roll one more, otherwise it wouldn't be fair. Well, that helps though. It goes up to 11.
Okay, 11. You see a small merchant ship vectoring towards you as it comes down out of the gravity well. And you notice that it's directing energy towards weapons. It's one weapon.
What sort of ship did you say?
It's a small merchant ship.
Is it the one that we saw before?
No, different. Smaller.
Oh, is it like a shuttle then?
No, it's still a ship. Probably a crew of maybe 20 people max.
Is that thing that could fit inside the other ship that they had?
Probably not. And you get a hail coming through on your Vox channel.
I'll answer it.
Hello, DSRV1. This is the Free Freighter Petulia. I'm afraid that due to your attack, there's now a bounty on your head. So, if you don't mind, I'm afraid I'm going to need to kill you. That money could go a long way.
Oh, these people work fast. How much is it?
I wonder why.
They're going through the wreckage right now, but it looks like it's going to be at least 700,000.
Can we
Well,
go?
we can't afford that.
Can we go? Can we go?
I'm gonna attempt to I'm flooring it and trying to get away if I can.
Can we just
Okay.
spike out of here? Can we just do
That
that?
takes time. It takes 2 days to do that.
To spike?
It takes 2 days to get to an area where you can spike.
Well, he did it once before, didn't he? No, he
Not-
almost accidentally did it once before.
Almost accidentally did it once before.
That's right.
We should have ripped everyone to shreds. So yeah, if you want to try and evade, you quickly shut the thing down, you start pumping the max to the engines, and you just let it rip. I need you to make a pilot check.
All right. 11.
With that, you make good distance. You are pretty far away now as you kind of weave yourself out of orbit, slingshotting around the moon nearby. They don't take quite as good a slingshot as you and end up falling quite behind. They're losing ground right now. If you want to make another one?
11. Very consistent.
With that, you make enough distance that you feel confident that they're not really going to be able to follow you anymore. Takes a good 12 hours, but over that time you do manage to get far enough away that they effectively have to break off. In that time, though, I will need you to make me another pilot intelligence check.
Okay. 10.
Okay.
Oh, that's not good. Right, I start checking the scanners and see if I can spot the actual merchant we're looking for.
That would have been your scanner check.
Oh, so that was what that was. Damn it. So I don't see him.
As far as you can see, the only merchant ship you can tell is that one that's going back towards the planet.
Would I expect to be able to see them?
Unless they're running dark, and they're pretty good at it. Probably not. Probably yes, you would see them.
Oh, well, I saying that, I'll say to the others, I'm not seeing them on the scanners anywhere. They kind of jumped already. I don't know if... And they shouldn't be back on the planet. They said they were leaving. Like, when Stax contacted, he said that they were leaving by shuttle, right?
He said they'd already left like 20 minutes ago.
Okay, so we're, like, a bit further behind, but they should be visible considering.
We know where we're going. Why can't the thing just jump? Does it need like to warm up or something?
We have to. It's a thing. It's a gravity thing. We gotta leave the system. It takes time. They will too, though.
You can't just jump out of the system?
No, it's a awkward process. You've seen it before. 2 days out, 2 days in. That's how long it takes.
And there's no way to speed it up?
Not that part. The jump itself, I can work on that.
Well, because you're talking about their sublight engines, right? Like their regular engines. Theirs are going to be better than ours if they're part of some sort of a government official ship, right? So they're going to be traveling way faster than we are. The only way to kind of balance that is if we jump before they do, right?
Well, yeah, either way, I'm going to try and jump as soon as possible. I'd just like to know where they were. Either they suddenly decided to land again, or they've gone dark, so I guess our best bet is to go to Thor and see if they're there when we get there.
What do you mean by gone dark?
Well, I'm not picking them up on the sensors. That means they're
Is there a
trying
way
not
to
be
turn
seen.
invisible? Is there a way to turn invisible to sensors?
Oh, they can run on silent, try and reduce their what sort of signals they send out.
Can you see through that?
Not at the moment. I can keep trying as we go. See if they come up.
But is it possible? I mean,
I might be able to spot them at some point.
no. You need to get us moving quickly. So you're going to be distracted. Just tell me what buttons to press. I'll see if I can find them.
All right then. I direct Delilah to how the sensors work.
Okay. In which case, over the next, because you've spent 12 hours of your 2 days, so you make a test every 12 hours. You can make 3 checks then before you
What
go,
are they?
Delilah. Piloting intelligence, or I think you can actually use something else.
Use program instead.
Nope. I will check what else
No.
you can use.
Womp womp.
Repairing damage. No. There is a section here that says you can use something other than pilot. I'm just going to check what it is. No, unfortunately, it would be. I will let you have a perception intelligence if you want.
Perception intelligence. Where is? Wait, perception? Notice intelligence. Gotcha. I can do
That's
that. Notice intelligence. That's not bad. Rolling 3 of those, yes?
Mm-hmm.
First one. 7, not
Space
terrible.
is big, black, and empty.
Second one. 8, not terrible.
Space is big, black, and empty, and occasionally has stars in it.
Third one.
His glorious response is E, I must say.
Space is big, black, and empty, and has stars and planets in it.
Don't I have the ability to just automatically succeed something?
I think
Or is
we
it
all wish we
reroll?
had that
Once per
ability.
scene, you can reroll a failed non-combat skill check, taking the better roll, the other roll if it's better. Not worth it. 10's good.
Well, this is the end of a scene, so if you want to.
Yeah. All right. What the hell? See if I can get better. It's probably not going to be better. Because that was 6 and a 3. And back to an 8. So obviously I took the 10 and it failed.
You missed the planets again, but there are still stars. Ulyses, do you heal yourself?
Yep. Already made the 3 rolls.
Awesome. With that then, Cooper, if you'll make me one last pilot intelligence check.
How much time has passed since Delilah left the room?
Like 2 days.
Okay, well, at some point, I'm sure they've been popping in, and I've been spreading out the rolls so it looks like I'm just healing very quickly, but not like instantaneously.
Wow, these things are amazing.
And I'm like, it's magic. I'm constantly praising this amazing technology that Cooper added to me, and it's great in all ways possible that I can, whilst knowing full well that it did very little compared to what I did.
Okay.
At
These
some
are
point, I'm like, you owe me one of those now.
Wow.
That's the best thing to bring up after you've massacred part of civilization.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So this is a separate thing. I just used this to
Send
keep
Dean
my
felt
This is a
bad for
separate thing.
every kill he made. Every kill he made, it was out of necessity, and he felt bad afterwards because it was a Star Games. But you're just like, meh, boof. Saying
Wow.
dark shit, man.
So you get to the
Yeah, I
edge
got
of the
no soul.
system. No sign of the other ship. Would you like to make a travel check? You want to travel to Thor?
Go.
Yep, we'll go for that. I'll say as we're setting off, still don't see him, but best bet is to go. Right, so do I have any idea about what spike drive they had? I'm guessing it's better than a rating 1.
You didn't
This will
scan
be
the
off-
ship closely enough.
Betting it's... Is it that a spike drive 2 can do the trip in 3 days and a 3 can do it in 2 days, that sort of thing?
Yep. It divides by the rating of the spike drive.
Right. Now, I really wish it was D8 plus 4, because then I could totally do this roll with trimming the
Okay,
course and it'd be fine.
so-
Trimming the course is -1, right?
Yeah, so
So
I'm going to
the-
get you the... Oh, it's +1 to the difficulty, -1 to the roll, whichever you want. Let me just get the exact number up so that we can hype your ability to roll terribly when going to Thor, which traditionally you are very
He's
bad
going to
at.
do amazing. I've got full faith in him.
So, traveling
Anyone
from
who can
one
murder
region
an
to
entire
another, 6
population of a
days.
colony is going to be great.
Your chart's pretty old, so it's a -2. The difficulty is normally a difficulty 7, and you're trimming the course. So, this will be a difficulty 10 you need to beat on a normal roll.
Is anything improved by the fact that I've done this journey before the other way around?
You know it's possible.
Right, what was the difficulty thing again?
You know what? I will say that you have automatically charted it as you went. And that way, your charts are less than a year... Actually, no, I won't say that because you didn't take a normal route to get there, did you? If you'd taken a normal route, I would say, oh, the charts are less than a year old. I'll be a kind GM. I'll be a kind GM. You have just killed a population. Sure. Your charts are less than a year old. So we'll call that a difficulty 0. So that's a 7 plus 1 for the course trimming. So that's a difficulty 8.
Okay. I should be able to do that, but you never know. 8.
Oh! I saw the 1 come up, I saw the 2 come up, and I genuinely thought...
Yes.
Mate, no, he's done here. He's done. Okay, you got an 8 on an 8. You push the ship. You have pushed the ship as hard as you can to try and make this jump as you rip through the fabric of reality and dive into metaspace. You pilot these conduits with skill, tenacity, and quite frankly, you're a little bit of a loss sometimes, but you just try and push it anyway based on the sheer brute force of, I think this is the right way. 3 days later, you appear out on the edge of a familiar system where a baleful star glows, and there are 2 very similar looking ocean planets further in, past a gas giant. Make me a pilot intelligence check.
Right. I literally got here 10 times quicker than I did last time I tried to fly to Thor.
We don't want to talk about that.
9 even.
PTSD is going to come back.
Okay. The star system looks empty. It looks devoid of any life, just like the first time you were here.
I'll say, we're here. I don't see them. Maybe they haven't arrived yet. Maybe they have and they're hidden. Maybe they weren't even coming this way. But it's best to be at Thor just in case. And I set course for the planet.
Okay.
Can I scan to see if I can see them now that we're on the other side of the jump?
Sure.
Okay.
Make a
Notice.
check.
Intelligence. Go. 5.
You can make 3 more.
Okay. I'm not going to reroll any of these because I don't know how long the scene is, and I don't want to chance anything that I might need in the future. Rolling 2 more before I just get your response. And last one, I haven't looked at them yet. Okay. 5, 9, 8, 8. So nothing great.
Okay. You make it into orbit around Thor. As far as you can see on the planet below, there has been no real change. It still looks kind of uninhabited, kind of not very nice, not very hospitable to human life, at least. And what would you like to do now?
So, now that we're here, what was the plan to stop them?
Well, depending on exactly how much power their particular ship has, maybe our sun thrower would be enough if we surprise them. But if that fails, we have our nukes.
So this was the idea that I had. It's a pretty shitty one because it could mean a change of lifestyle for all of us. So I was kind of thinking, because you have 2 brains, right? I was kind of thinking we take one of your brains with us, and we take this body that you're in now, and we put it inside like a life preserver with us, and then at last possible minute, eject out of the life preserver thing and start heading towards the planet. But at the same time, you get the nukes in this ship and you start heading towards their ship. I mean, you're saying that these nukes can ignore the fact that the advanced engines can ignore the fact that these are nukes, right? It's kind of like I got the Busta 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 from a really bad 1999 movie reference that I'm making right now. And can't you just like do that? 5 nukes against their ship, go all self-destruct, plow into them style?
I mean, that's an option if all else fails. I prefer to fire them at it and not die, but that's a possibility.
You won't die though. We'll have your brain with us.
No, I will die. Then that brain will live.
Then you're a robot, so serve your purpose, I guess. You know, kill more things.
I mean, I was a human once.
How long were we in drill space for this journey?
3 days.
Okay. And I'm assuming that Ulyses on the bridge at this point. I just trying out of this, but there's been enough killing, and there's a real hard. I will brook no opposition in this tone to his voice. Like for the last 3 days, he's been extremely withdrawn. Like after he learned what happened and what was his fault on the colony, like he's just spent most of the time in his bunk by himself. He's been extremely difficult to talk to. Like not hostile to everyone else, but just he doesn't want to talk about anything. He's just dealing with his own things. But he's here for this conversation. He's like, no.
Huh?
We'll find another way.
Another way for what? Another way for what?
I mean, we could just threaten them with the nukes.
The guy went into my brain and took this knowledge from me. It was forced. You're dealing with somebody that has the ability to manipulate us from our brain. Maybe he can do it from ship to ship. If we don't send the robot in, which has the ability to not have his brain manipulated because he doesn't have one, then how are we supposed to survive somebody that can make us change the way that we think? I go from one day of saying we can't do anything to help this person, he's horrible, to the next day, here's the deepest, darkest secrets that we have that I don't want to tell you. How can we handle that in a non just finalized way? How do we do that? You sip some tea and have a cupcake? I mean, it's not going to work out.
If we do just threaten them, they will most likely leave, tell someone else, and then they'll come back with bigger guns.
Right? I mean, if he had to come straight here, then he hasn't had time to go tell other people of what we've discovered, right? So that means maybe if we end it here, nobody else knows what we told him. And then the people down there will be okay, which I have no idea where my planet is.
How many people are on that ship, Cooper? How many crew?
I don't know. I didn't get a good look at it.
It was
a
bulk freighter, so anywhere between 40 and maybe 200 max.
Say 40 to 200. Less than how many are on the planet.
How many of them have families? How many?
All of them.
What if they're the only ones bringing wages back? What if they just don't come back? That's bad enough by itself. There must be another way. We've caused enough deaths, whether intentional or not. We have to at least consider other options.
What else is there? Threatening them that'll potentially work. We can go with that and see where that goes.
Is there any way that we could simply maroon them? At least they'd have some sort of life. We'd do the same to their families, but at least we wouldn't be killing them.
Maroon them how?
I don't know.
I see it as 3 options. Kill them, threaten them and hope that works, or try to negotiate with them in a not so threatening way. We tried to negotiate before, and he manipulated our brains. We're going to try to threaten him, and he has a better ship than ours with better weapons than ours, sans the nukes that we have, and he knows that we have, which is why they'll only work if we do it drastically. Because if he just knows they're coming, just shoot them at him, he'll be able to resist that because he knows it's not a surprise, right? And then just killing them is the other option. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Am I analyzing this correctly? Am I missing some detail here?
Perhaps starting with negotiations will be best.
But then you lose the element of surprise.
Well, we'd lose that if we threatened them with the nukes in the first place. I'd rather at least give them a choice to walk away.
At which point, as you get into orbit...
Oh, what's this? I run over and start looking at the scanners.
the ship has detected, within the proximity of your craft, weapons fire.
I think they made the decision for us.
Looking down at your scanners, I need you... Anyone on the bridge who wants to check the scanners can make me a roll either pilot intelligence or notice intelligence.
Notice intelligence. I ain't piloting nothing.
11? I keep getting... It's like there's so many 1s and 2s in my rolls, but then there's always a one good number in there to make it okay.
I'll look around simply because it's hard not to look around a bit.
So...
9.
Everyone but Delilah now, the lowered threshold. You notice that parked not far from the colony you went and visited is a shuttle. Pretty much exactly where you landed your ship. There seems to be figures down there you can't really tell from this altitude, but you can also see nearby is the shape of what appears to be the same ship you saw before. A large bulk freighter. However, it looks like nearby there are sections of broken open metal containers, possibly life habits that seem to have been shot with maybe capital ship grade weaponry, like your ship has. That there's been weapons fire exchanged from the ship to the ground. And as you watch, you notice what triggered the alarm. Another lightning bolt emanating from somewhere nearby in the orbit comes down, impacts the side of the bulk freighter, and it lifts slightly to the side before pulling up a little bit and taking a further distance altitude. Rather than staying within, say, 1,000 meters of the ground, which it was before, it moves up to maybe 10,000 meters now in the sky before taking a much more distant approach. And then the sporadic weapons fire returned at the Habs. It looks like a battle has been joined about a day before you managed to get there.
I set a course for the bulk freighter and turn to Ulyses and say, well, 200 lives or 1,000.
They've made the choice. I just didn't want to... Taking a life shouldn't be something that we do lightly. Just do what you have to do.
Cooper, what do you do?
I make for the bulk freighter.
Make me a pilot roll.
$13.
And with that, you take the ship into a steep deceleration, burning retrograde as much as you can to slow down, and then diving immediately down towards the surface, pretty much directly down at the bulk freighter. And that's where we're going to cut to a break. We're going to be back in 8 minutes' time with the culmination of this fight. Will they manage to stop the bulk freighter, which is significantly larger than their ship? Will they be able to defend the people of Thor? Or will they all die horrifically because someone decided to rip out a toilet? Or maybe a fridge. There's still a fridge left.
We've got to keep away from that.
It was such good attention. I was gonna.
It was great. It was
perfect.
perfect.
And everything. Sorry, the toilet. God damn it.
And my favorite part is where you had the best intentions, and then the entire toilet was sucked into a black hole and entirely disappeared.
Yep. Yep. Damn it.
Oh,
Didn't
God.
even get the toilet, much less the black hole that was in it.
Nope. So, yeah, we'll be back in 8 minutes. Don't go anywhere. If you do go somewhere, just go check out, say, our Patreon or whatever. Go support the show over there. Or, of course, go, get a drink, take a bio break. If your toilet still exists, don't rip it out of the ground. Bad things happen. And we'll be back in 8 minutes' time.
Well, I mean, if it's got a black hole under it, yes. If it's just water, it's not going to be that bad.
Still going to be pretty bad. Yeah.
You'll get wet. You might like it. I don't know.
That red alert sound is awfully loud.
Well, for me, it's quiet.
Rip headphone
There we
users.
go. Yeah, welcome back to Roll4It. Hopefully you enjoyed the break. Hopefully your toilet didn't contain a black hole. We are back after, in the beginning, they decided they needed to go warn the people of Thor about the fact they'd let slip that they had a special super weapon. They then decided to leave Stax's toilet because Stax was going to have to stay behind. The toilet contained a black hole which ripped up a chunk of the space, the colony nearby, and also Ulyses. Ulysses luckily surviving. They then had to hack their way out of the compound they were in. They managed to leave just as part of the dome was collapsing. And with that, they managed to eventually make their way to Thor, where it turns out that someone had beaten them there, but only just. And they were currently in a fight. With that, having decided that the people currently fighting the people of Thor were the bad guys, they decided to start diving into the atmosphere to attack their bulk freighter that appeared to be firing on the colony down below. With that, we join them back as they go into combat. So, as you dive down towards them, I will need Cooper, because you're the captain for this. You need to make an initiative check for me.
All right. I guess I click my token for that, or do I just roll it and then you'll apply it where needed?
Just roll it. Because it's only 2 people in the combat, effectively 2 ships, because everyone acts on your ship and then everyone acts on their ship, we'll just take it in turns. So don't even need to really roll it on a token.
6.
8.
I was hopeful there when the roll was a 5, but I'm crap and have no modifiers.
So, with that, actually, I would give you a bonus to that. I'd give you a bonus too, because you are coming down at them. You have the height advantage. So can you re-roll?
Six.
Nah.
6. I'll give it to the PCs, considering they are PCs and they are the heroes of the universe.
Oh, I don't
came
think
across-
anything
it
we've done
actually
in the
says
last,
that-
like 7 days is heroic.
True, true.
I think it is actually the rule that like PCs win in ties for that. So
Okay.
that's good.
As you're diving down towards them, what are you all doing?
Well,
pilot.
now I don't know what the plan is. We just started diving. No idea. What's the plan here?
I'll look around and say, either of you want to take the turret?
None of us know how to use it. We had Stax for that.
Well, we got to make do.
Will that thing even hurt their ship?
It's worth a shot. It'll do something.
I mean,
Delilah, you're likely to have better luck with it than me.
well, I also wasn't just blown up a couple days ago. I'll go and suit up and see if I can find the on button. And then she goes off to go find the suit. And then she kind of stops and turns back and she's like, you're not going to use the nukes, are you?
I'll try not to.
There really is no try. We can't use the nukes. We're in atmosphere now.
Yeah, we'll have to try and draw them a little bit higher so we don't entirely kill everyone involved with them.
You can't draw them higher. If you blow up a nuke higher in the atmosphere but not out of the atmosphere, it's going to be catastrophic.
Well, in that case, there's not much we can do against them.
If we could get them out of the atmosphere, like we can't use nukes here. It's not our planet.
I'll see what I can do. For now, we'll try the turret. It'll do something.
Go and put on the suit.
Okay, so where are you going again, Delilah?
To put on a suit and then I suppose get onto the top of the ship to use a weapon I've never used before.
Why are you putting
I don't think you have to be like outside for it.
What? Oh, I thought you had to be
just,
outside.
like-
I thought you had to be outside. I thought it was like Firefly, where you had to stand on top of the thing and be like. No.
I was imagining like a Millennium Falcon kind of thing.
Oh, I totally always thought Stax was standing on top of the hull of the ship, like ah.
That would be
That
the
would've killed
worst
him
sign of gun
considering-
ever.
Oh my god, I'm not even joking, I always imagine Stax standing on the side of the ship like, I'm such a badass!
It's why the diagram of the ship has like doors leading to turret
That's
areas.
fantastic.
Okay.
So you get into one of the gun turrets. The gun turret for the sand thrower seems that all the other ones are broken. Ulysses, what are you doing?
I'm just buckled in the cockpit. I'm not doing anything. Not pressing any buttons.
Can give you
are
a
we-
job if I can scroll down to the jobs bit.
Are we engaging them extremely fast? Because if it's one of those, if I had time to put on a suit anyways, I probably would, because
Well,
if
considering
our hull gets...
considering you only just noticed them, and then Coop was like, "I'm diving," you probably haven't had a chance, I'm afraid.
It don't have a chance for the suit,
Yep.
just gotta go straight for the gun? Fuck. Our hull's gonna be ripped open. We're gonna die. Alright.
Okay. So what are you doing as you get into range?
Me particularly.
Okay.
So, do I just count as captain or am I bridge?
You can be whatever position you want to be, effectively.
Can I switch as I like, or do I have to pick one to start with and then?
I would say within reason, especially because you are effectively being the captain while also being the pilot at the same time, yes, you can do that. For everyone else, I would want you to pick a role and try and roll with that as much as you can.
Page 119.
Or
Has all
you
the
can
roles
use
on it.
the little thing at the special bar at the top if you look at the handouts. I've got handouts in there.
Is that still applicable? Because I thought that was from the previous edition.
Did they fully redo that?
It's in the new rulebook now, so
Okay.
I'm just going off
For
that.
expediency's sake, we'll use the old rules because everyone has access to them quite easily
Okay.
in-game. We'll use those rules for now. So if you want to bring up your little hot bar and stuff, you can pick out whichever role you would like to be.
Well, this is much more complicated.
Oh.
I think there's like twice as many actions you can do.
Well, if everyone has a PDF and wants to use a PDF, they can use the PDF version if they wish. But you'd have to pick between you what you're going to do. I don't mind. Because I don't have to use them as a GM.
I think I'll go for the new one just because it's a lot easier to digest.
Okay, so if you can all pull up the new PDF and have a quick look at the roles you can do, pick a role.
See what stuff I have. So how do we generate the points, the CP?
It's based off the
I
size
have
of
an
your hull
action
and
that
your
does
crew.
that?
It should say at the top.
Here's the... Actions? No.
Has everyone found
Okay, so I
them?
have to be the captain. I have to be the captain to generate the command points. So I guess I will do that so that we can have some to work with.
Okay.
So
I'm guessing gunnery chief since I'm sitting on the guns.
Sure.
It makes no sense for Ulysses to take any of these roles.
Yeah.
None of them? Okay. You do have a torpedo bay that will need loading of
So
torpedoes.
small. I want it to not be
What
small so I can
role
read
would
we
it.
that
have
be?
It might not be any
we
of the
have
roles.
two loaded, don't we?
You have two loaded, but they're both nukes. You have two spares as well. You don't know what they are.
I thought we knew that the spares were nukes because they were the things that we were physically carrying around, and then Stax identified
You
as being a nuke.
specifically loaded the two nukes into the torpedo tubes.
Oh, okay.
The other two are out currently. But it might not be a roll, Avak. If you choose to do that, that might not be a roll, in which case you could just move the torpedoes around, but it would still take
I mean,
actions.
Ulysses will do what's asked of him, but it
Okay.
makes no sense for him to take on a role for spaceship combat, considering he has no skills that would be applicable to any of
Sure.
it.
In which case, that's fine. So, what are you two doing then?
Shooting?
Okay. Do you want to make a shoot?
Yeah. Do I have to, like, is this weapon like, is it pretty like a gun? You point and you pull the trigger. Is
Yep.
it that simple?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Then I roll, I'm imagining a shoot check.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I have a -2 to that. What's the damage for this thing? Just so I can add it to my, we're going to call it, what is it, sand
That
thrower?
should have it for you.
And then what is the thing? I have to apply a minus.
The sand thrower is scroll.
Yeah, so
Be on the ship tab. The damage is 2d6. Special effect flak.
Okay, it's 2d6. So it's gonna be shoot with
2d4.
dexterity, no
The
other
sand throw is
modifiers.
2d4.
Oh,
Sorry,
yes, 2d4.
2d4, but has no modifiers whatsoever.
Yep.
Okay. Then I am going to be attacking with, I think, just a -2 to my attack roll. So here we go. First attack is a 6.
As you fire the sand thrower, you're not used to this weapon, and instead of pointing it at a particular place, you kind of just move it sideways very quickly, and the sand kind of spreads across the air as it is fired. And instead of being able to drill through the air by colliding with it and just pushing itself through, you kind of just spray a very fine mist of particles which just don't actually make it far enough away from your ship to actually hit the enemy ship. It does create a pretty light show as this sheet of flame effectively explodes the air in front of you, but nothing actually gets through to the bulk freighter, sadly.
Makes sense.
Cooper, what are you doing?
So I can only do one action per turn, I suppose. Right, because in terms of generating the CP, it's a bit difficult, because the normal one you can do, I would generate 0 because my lead skill is -1 to start with, and it adds 1 to your lead skill to generate points. So the only thing I can do is to use my turn to make someone else's ability cost 2 less CP.
Okay.
And that's the only thing I can do. So that means I can't be pilot unless someone else was captain instead, because I wouldn't be able to do any actions with it because they all cost CP.
Okay, in which case do you want to pilot?
Yeah, in that case, I guess I'll probably pilot. Is Ulyses still on the bridge?
Yeah.
Then I'll tell him to, I guess, sort of take command or coordinate things. Is it just like I'm going to be busy focusing on the evasion thing?
Very well, I'll do my best. So you want me to take on the council? It feels weird because it's like, this is like, you get these things because you're trained to do it, and I'm like, I'd be okay with this if it was about.
Well, if you were trained to do it, you could generate CP. As it is, the best you can do is make things slightly easier for other people. I think basically it's like you're helping out.
Just go give them a pep talk. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that sort of thing of like, do you need me to hold down any buttons? And I'm like, yeah, that one over there. And that makes a task easier for me.
Okay.
The plan was easier when it was a suicide bomb into a starship.
Has no reason to know what buttons do what.
Press the green one, not that
Ulyses,
green one.
I've got to press this button. At which point he'd be like, okay, hold that button down.
Ulysses, South Sea, check to sea.
You see how ridiculous this RP situation is? It's like, yeah, Ulyses, you need to tell us what to do so that we can do it easier. It's like, fight more better.
Yeah.
It's made for ships with more
Cooper,
functional crews.
What are you doing?
Yes.
I missed the kamikaze plan.
Cooper, what are you doing?
Wait, no, I found a way. Instead, Ulyses can be a general crew member. He can do an action that generates 1 CP a turn, so we can do it that way.
Oh, he is a general crew member. That actually
crew member?
would be what he is, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that works. In the meantime, I can't do anything yet, but I can later.
Do you move the ship? Do you take the ship anywhere other than directly at them?
Flying it normally, I will. Well, I can't make evasive maneuvers because that uses command points.
Yes, but would you like to position it anywhere? You don't have to think about it just in terms of that table.
I guess I'll try and approach the ship from behind if I can.
Okay, make me a pilot roll.
11. Always with the 1 and the 2, and then something better.
As you try and do that, the bulk freighter... Actually, you should be able to add your speed modifier. Have you done that?
How? Oh, the speed modifier of the ship, right. Let me check what that is. Speed is 3. So I rolled a 14.
And I rolled a 13, in which case, yes, you managed to get just about behind them. While not too difficult to actually turn the ship and fire back at you, it certainly will make it so that they will have to move rather than being able to take up the stationary firing position they've currently got. And with that, the bulk freighter acts. Noticing it's now in an aerial combat situation where you are a smaller, lighter, faster ship than it will start heading for space, where it will get altitude advantage, and then suddenly you'll be on a plane of 0, either one You should be fine. So it starts taking off and going for altitude. Up, 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 up. As it does, it kind of barrels over and banks over you, doing kind of an inverse Immelman maneuver. And it's going to fire at you with the polyspectral MES beam.
That sounds fancy and painful.
It's pretty nice. That's a 22. What is your AC?
14.
This ignores up to 25 points of armor as well.
This is going to be super anticlimactic. I'm just saying now, if you one-shot the ship.
The ship
I was a bit
takes
worried.
10 points of damage.
Out of curiosity, how much damage does the ship have?
It was after we lost a bit leaving, I think, as well. So that
Yeah, we
actually
lost like 2 points.
Oh,
didn't
we lost a bit because of the black hole in the ship.
Yeah,
Two,
we,
yeah.
we're
we
now
lost
at 3 hit points.
How much
total.
hit points did we have to begin with?
We had 13 as it was. We had 15 and then we lost 2.
Okay.
It got filled back up when you got healed.
Oh, okay. In that case, we're slightly better. We're at 8.
So how much did we have in total, though, to start with? What's its maximum hit?
The max is 20.
We're now down to 8, below half. Okay.
Oh, sorry, that should be 25 to start with.
So instead of 8, we're at 13, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yep.
So 2 more shots, assuming no critical
So
hits.
it's still above half hit points then.
Oh, actually, that should be 8, not 10. I added the wrong bonus, so it's 8, not 10. But you're still on, what, 10 hit points?
Now we're on 15.
15, okay. In which case, yeah, as it
We overall
drifts
gained
over,
from that, so that's nice.
a very thin, almost infinitesimally thin as far as you can see, beam of bright violet blue stabs down and rakes over the craft. And
What
just
the
rips
shit
straight
is
through
this?
it. Ripped straight through it, going through armor like it was butter. The ship
Do
is,
we have to do any kind of dodge checks if this went straight through the ship?
No. Not unless I'm deliberately targeting crew, which I might do in a bit.
Okay.
Why couldn't
Thanks for the idea.
die?
That was fantastic.
So I can have a more useful character
no.
firing
Okay.
the gun.
With its other weapon, it's going to spin over. And it's going to start firing at the ground.
Okay.
So, make a attack roll. Oh, I accidentally rolled 2d10 rather than d20. Roll d20 plus 1. 11. That's enough to hit the ground. With that, you notice several large explosions take place on the ground where roughly you think the encampment that you visited was, of the Odin's sons. Your go.
I shoot again?
Okay, or do you want to wait for someone to give you command points to do that?
I mean, yes, if I need those. I won't lie, the command point system I'm a bit thrown off by. I didn't realize it was that complex because I thought last time Stax was just shooting every round. So if I need to wait, I will gladly do so.
Oh, do you need to spend command points every time you want to fire?
No, it looked like
Fire
you
all
need
guns, fire
command
one
points
weapon
for
is
like
2
other
command
things.
points. Target systems
that's-
is 1 command point.
Oh,
Fire all
wow.
guns is 4.
Oh, that's fire all guns as opposed to 1, I guess.
Yeah,
In
but
which
fire
case,
one
this
weapon
system
too.
is definitely not as good as the other system, because the other system allowed you to play and do special maneuvers, whereas that system
Yeah.
is specifically for multi-person craft.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This seems like it's for like if you get the Death Star, not the Death Star, but like a Star Destroyer or something. Like
So,
not for.
let's
I've got
ignore
one
that
turret.
system and use the one that I had already in the game. If I
Yeah.
open up those,
Grantham.
you will find that there are maneuvers in there that will allow you to do extra stuff.
Wait, is it the
As
one
the
called
new rules
Actions
came
List?
in, we were switching to them.
It's true.
Which one is it, EE?
I mean, I could always do my thing
you
first
look-
before.
Yeah, if you want to do
and
that.
generate
But
some-
everyone else, look in the little tab up there, and you should see several options and handouts, and you can pick whichever role you want to take on. So, what are you doing, Avak?
Right, if we're using the new rules, I can generate CP as a general action. If we're using the old rules, I can do nothing because I do no
I will
role.
let you use a general thing because there isn't a general thing in the older rules specifically.
Okay.
So I will let you generate
all
CP.
right. Right, so I'm gonna let me have a look at my skills quickly. Which ones have I got that are particularly good? Would survive count for things like damage control? Like, would you say that that's under like just trying to put out fires or hold things together, that kind of thing?
I would say you could do it at -1 as opposed to a mechanic. Mechanic would normally be it, but if you're just trying to do immediate damage control,
You mean fix?
Fix, yeah. You could use fix, or you could use survive -1. I'd say.
Okay, that gives me the same roll either way. Okay, let me just have a look at this again. Right, okay. Skill 11, command points on affiliate. Alright, okay, well, I guess I just do my duty then. This costs no command points, and we get 1 command point.
Okay,
If a department has no available head or its head doesn't choose to act, it automatically takes this action. PCs who head more than one department can act only in one of them. The rest automatically take this action. So I'm doing my duty, whatever my duty is.
Yeah, so presumably you're one of the consoles back there, and as you're flying around, Cooper's just like...
I'm not touching
Just
any of the consoles.
shout out what happens on the display screen. And you're just shouting out, oh,
okay.
they're going left, they're going right, they're going up, they're going down. Oh, they're weaving, they're doing some sort of shimmery movement. And it's somehow helping. Meanwhile, Cooper, Delilah, what do you want to do?
Shoot.
Okay.
I'm just gonna aim and hope for the best. That's about as good as it can get.
Okay,
That's
natural 20. Would you like to roll the dice, add your modifier, and double it? Because we're using the old system, since it's old D&D system it's based off, which will be doubling the modifier as well, as if I recall correctly.
Oh, so re-roll to confirm, you're saying?
No, roll the damage, add the modifier, and double it.
Oh, gotcha. I understand what you're saying. There't no modifier, so just 2d4 times 2. Gotcha. Minimum damage gets... Oh, that's amazing. That's about as beautiful as... That's one of the cool things about the shock damage in Melee, is that the minimum damage you can do is your shock damage. So you can't be that shitty
For
when you
everyone
hit.
at home who is watching this, but mostly listening to it, all those people on the MP3, that was a crit. It's a natural 20 by Delric as Delilah. And he followed up by
Amazing.
rolling on 2d4, 2 damage.
Oh, come on!
Can you re-roll that with your special ability once per scene, or is that...
It's combat.
I can re-roll...
Oh.
It's, only skill checks or something non-combative. Yeah.
In which case, well done, you did...
Oh, God.
Why,
More damage.
why, Delilah?
There it is.
Because Fate hates Delilah. Fate hates her so hard. Like from the die rolls to everything else. Oh my God.
You do know the
Jesus
average damage you
Christ.
should have done there should have been about 10.
Yeah. Yep. 2.5 times, twice times 2. Yeah.
So, with that, you spray sand at the ship. You think you've got a really good lock on it. It flies over the top of you. You're basically looking straight up at it like, yeah, I've got this. You zone in. You feel yourself like, almost get like tunnel vision as you aim at this one particular vulnerable spot. And you spray it with this sand. And while you did hit it, and it seemed like a really, really good attack, maybe you just shimmied the turret a bit too much and you didn't really get enough sand on target, and most of the shot kind of spread over a large area and bounced off, but you did do some damage. The target's definitely hit.
That was very much a well done for trying. You get a reward for participation moment.
Oh God.
Cooper.
In terms of piloting, do we just have one command point right now from Ulysses?
I think you
This is
start
not-
off with, I think off the top of my head, 3 in your small craft as well.
Okay, so we have 4, so I can maybe do something. If I want to do anything, it's probably dodging.
You cannot do anything. You can maintain course is the only thing if we're using the old rules. Oh, sorry, no. I was looking at the difficulty. My bad.
No,
Yeah, you can do pretty much
Avic,
anything
please,
you want to do.
Please, doing nothing is Delilah's job, okay? Like,
Okay, Bentham, what
don't
do you
steal
want
my
to do?
thing.
I could just spend 1 command point to phase dance, and that allows me to change my spike drive frequency
Nope,
while
not
the
a
enemy's
thing in this
shooting at me.
edition.
Oh,
Second edition doesn't have phase spiking.
Oh, that's in the
Does that mean-
things that you gave us.
Yeah, but that bit is only applicable to the last rules. It literally has been entirely removed from the current version. There's no such thing.
I do have trim the course, which allows me to increase my speed by 1. 2 command points per round. I don't know if it's worth it for 2. We're sort of short on command points.
What do you want to do? Do you want a time limit here?
I'll try that because we are getting shot at and we're
Okay.
close to death.
You are trimming the course, but where are you going?
Well, it just says that you increase the speed
Okay.
by 1 for a round, so I think that it's trimming the course, but on a small scale of in a normal
Okay, in
fight.
which case your AC will go up by 1 if you're going up by 1 on speed, I think. And anytime you make a test for that turn on your piloting, it will go up by 1 as well. Okay?
All right.
Okay. Test it.
And also, while that's happening, I call back. We can't take much of this. Nukes are becoming our only option pretty quickly.
Do you need to test for that?
I'm
or
going to
does it
try and sort
automatically
of. I think it just automatically happens. I can double check.
happen? Does it have a difficulty listed next to it?
Oh, of course, yeah, it does. It's a difficulty 6, so I should be okay.
Yeah, you should, but you will need to roll for it.
You shouldn't have been able to get us lost for like a month.
Well, that'll do.
And with that, you boost the reactor and you kick it into overdrive. The ship strains against you, pushing you all back into the chairs that you're currently in. Delilah's more like... The rest of you are
I'm trying to
kind of
pull
just...
upwards if I can.
And you're
To try
pulling
and draw them
upwards.
in that direction.
You're trying to lead them. Okay. Fair enough. With that, we go to their turn. They're going to fire at you again with the polyspectral.
God damn.
15. Your AC is
14,
+1 for
And
being
then is it
15.
15. You're hit.
But wasn't the speed a modifier to that?
Yeah,
Something?
your AC is 14. With your speed is a +1, right?
But my speed is 3 to start with.
Your AC 14 has the speed factored in already, I think.
Oh, right. What was it we applied speed to earlier?
Piloting rolls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is a piloting roll.
No, this is not a piloting roll. This
Oh, no,
is
it's
your
not.
AC.
No, it's not. I'm very confused. I tried to learn a lot of rules in a very short space of time, and my brain's turning
Don't
to
worry,
ship
we
takes
had
7
no time to practice.
The ship
basic
takes
combat
7
rules.
points of damage.
Okay, we're now on 8.
And then a beam rips into it. They continue to pound. Having really not found you much of a threat so far, they do continue to pound the colony below from above. So I will roll that. Yeah, the colony continues to take damage as explosions rough across the surface. And they do chase you upwards, now being in the upper atmosphere.
That's good.
How
news.
close are they to us?
Within about 5 kilometers. Pretty close.
That's really
Okay.
close. Yeah. I have to spend my main action doing this instead of attacking. But I think I want to torch again. I think it's
Okay.
important. I think it's important that we have a little bit of insight here. Okay. So because we don't, as far as we all understand,
because the ship combat turns take longer than normal person combat turns, I'd let you do both.
Okay, cool. So actually, that's an important question then. How long is a ship combat turn? Because if it's a whole minute, then I'm only seeing one round in advance.
I am going to have to GM rule this because the new rules say 15 minutes, and 15 minutes is stupid. 15 minutes is silly when you're talking about, the game actually talks about ships having to be really close to shoot each other because they've got spike drives, so they're saying, oh yeah, you don't have to be at long range. If you're that close, it's not 15 minutes. So I will say that the ship combat turns are probably about 30 seconds, maybe a bit less.
So like if you were on the ground, you can get like 10 actions to a ship's 2 actions. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right, then that's kind of not really beneficial for me to do that then, because like I'm going to see 2 rounds. I don't know, 2 rounds is a decent amount of time. A lot of shit can happen in 2 rounds. Yeah, I'll
You'll
try
probably
it.
be dead in
Okay.
2 rounds.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to torch. So first thing I have to do is roll a d6 to see what happens for torching.
Delilah goes insane, you have to fight her.
It won't be that bad no matter what. 4 is
Wisdom.
hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. I lose 1 con, which sucks because that's a better stat for me. Oh no, it's not. Not with Delilah. I forgot. Okay, so I lose 1 con. I just applied it. My question is, do we survive? Like, I mean, if you can make it more general than that, than just like you're asking a genie a question, like the state of the ship, what condition we're in, stuff like that. But do we survive this next minute?
What you see from your position currently in the turret is you see the ship in front of you, but no longer are you firing the turret. The turret is broken and blackened. And in front of you, you notice hatches pop up on the front of the ship. And then pods eject out back towards the planet. The ship tumbles, broken open, armor ripped in sections, flames burning within as it starts to break apart.
That's their ship, right?
That's your ship.
Okay. Oh, so my ship has the pods coming off? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, duh. Wow. So I'm gonna hop on the. I have a comm. I have a way of, because it's intership comms. I'm gonna hit the comm pad and be like, fuck. It's now or never. If we don't do it now, we're going down. Just trust me. I saw it. If we don't do it now, we're going down.
All right, that's all the warning I need.
And then with the, if I can still move, because I think that was my main and my whatever, if I can still like unbuckle and move, I want to start like booking it towards the life pod. You know what I mean? If I could do like a with the gun as I'm going, just kind of like spray fire, then book it towards the life pod. Because, oh shit.
Sure, so if you want to fire the gun, and then you can move the life pods ready for next turn. So if you want to fire the gun, you can go ahead.
Okay. Do I want to take a penalty because I'm kind of like half-ass firing it, or?
No, it's fine.
Oh, okay. Sure. 17's not a bad attack.
That is a hit.
She does a better job when she's not trying.
Very common for that to be the case.
Oh,
It's
she's not
performance
even looking.
anxiety.
Are you kidding me?
She does better when she's
more
not trying
damage
in
than
all
it's
factors.
trying.
That's 5 damage. Yeah, this time around, you managed to hit them pretty hard as they're coming up towards you, and you don't know what it is, really. You hit them somewhere really, like, heavily on the chin, and it does seem to take a chunk out of the front of their ship, as the explosion rips across it as your fast-firing particle caster just happens to connect very well with them in some vital area, and they take a good amount of damage there.
Awesome. I'm going to assume, I'm just going to say I didn't even notice that happen. I didn't even see that I did it. I literally just kind of like, and then kind of like got out of my seat and ran. Didn't even see that I hurt them.
In the front
I'm
of the
just heading
ship,
towards life pods.
Cooper, you heard her say that and start running towards you. Ulysses, you see her starting running towards you as well. What are you doing?
Cooper first.
Before
my
you guys
reaction
go,
at
I'm
the
sorry.
time.
Quick question. Didn't we have 5 nukes?
You had 2 nukes and 2 torpedoes that you never checked.
Oh, torpedoes that we never checked. That's why I'm assuming 4, and my number was just off 4 to 5. Okay, cool. Thank you.
I guess is my action then to fire the nukes?
Both of them. Yeah, sure. You can. If you want.
We'll start with one. One might be enough.
Okay. So with
I
that...
want to have a backup.
You key to bring up the nukes. The torpedo door opens up. You feel a tingling in the back of your neck, almost like an implicit confirmation that you really want to fire this. And it disappears, seemingly accepted. You can make an attack roll.
All right. How do I do it? Because I've never done one of these, or did one like once.
For any attack roll?
Yeah.
Roll natty one.
So it would be a
Roll natty.
dexterity-based shooting weapon.
So do I just set that up then in my weapons?
Yeah, just set it up as a shoot with a dexterity attack. And call it nuke, torpedo, whatever you want to call it, and just fire it.
Leave behind.
4.
As the ship flips over, firing towards them, you open the torpedo bay. You see, you line up, and you fire, and the torpedo goes. And then there's a. You fired before you would lock. The torpedo shoots up past them, missing them by about 50 meters as it flies off into space.
We just killed tons of deep swimmers for no reason.
No, it's going up into space. So.
Oh, it's space. Oh, yep. Good point. Good point. We just Superman them. We're about the sun.
Ulyses.
There's only one thing to do. There's only one thing to do, Pooper. Do it.
My turn's over.
I meant next turn.
Okay, well, seeing that happen and not knowing what's going on, and particularly seeing Delilah running towards us, what should we do? I haven't got any orders.
Get in the life pod. If either we crash with them or they're blowing us up. Life pod.
I rush over to Cooper and I kind of lean down. Now, or do you want us to fire the other? We don't have time to reload.
Get in the pods. I'll do what I can.
And I turn and I actually go to leave the room. Then I turn back and I stand just there. Not until you do. I'll stay with you.
Ulyses, make a intelligence check.
Okay. I'll just roll exert intelligence because it's a neutral skill, so it's not going to have a minus on it, just so that I can roll intelligence by itself. 6. 3 and 3. Flat average.
Okay. No, that's good. So, next turn comes around. Having seen you're a threat now, the ship continues to follow you up now into the black of space, just out of the atmosphere. It lines up the polyspectral beam emitter. And actually, that's a 12. It misses.
That is an open IAC.
This bright blue-violet beam straight in front of the cockpit, but missing it by a few people length. Like, this is very close, but it does miss you, leaving an afterimage seared onto your retinas. However, the second weapon, having decided you are a threat, instead stops firing. You did fire a torpedo at them. Stops firing down at the colony. That'd be a hit. Let me pull up the weapon. Uh, 6 points of damage. Reduced by armor. How much armor do you have?
I think 2 normally. It might be 5 depending on your ruling.
Your armor... Yeah, your armor was repaired, so it would be 5. Actually, sorry. My damage should be 3d4, but yeah, you're full 5 armor right now. Let me just increase that by d4. So that was 8 reduced by 5, so that's 3 points of damage you take.
Alright, we're now at 5 hit points.
Okay. The ship shudders as rounds hit it and spark as the ship takes some sort of electronic damage as it is hit by charged particles of some kind. But the ship holds together. It is groaning and creaking, but it is holding together at the moment. When it hits 0, by the way, the ship doesn't immediately die. It doesn't explode. I don't think it happens until you get to your negative ship health. But the ship will start to... not good. So...
Is Delilah heading for the life pods at this point?
Yep.
Like, where is she on the ship? Could you move your counter so we can all see it?
I'm sorry. No problem.
So I should move mine as well to the bridge so that we can actually tell where we are.
Let me just like zoom back a bit. So are you and I in a range where we can actually have conversation there, Avik?
Yeah, because I'm basically I'm in the doorway of the bridge, and I imagine Cooper is like on one of these seats.
There it is. Okay. Roll20 is being a little screwy, but that's okay. So I imagine I'm not in the life pod yet because it's not my turn, so I started making my way towards it, but I'm just going to go there because I'm trying to get there ASAP.
I can't see Cooper.
Cooper's on the lower deck.
EE, I think you forgot Cooper is the ship, okay? So
I can put myself in the right place. Oh, you've moved me. There we go.
So if are Ulysses and Delilah able to have like a quick chat or no?
Sure.
I imagine we're close enough.
Like, Yuli, listen, I used that deep powder power. I saw. Half the time has already elapsed between when I saw that we're going to die. So we need to get out of here. Our ship is about to blow up.
I believe you. Get in the life pod. I'll be in another one in a moment. Don't worry, I'll get there.
Can't we all fit in one?
No, they're individual life pods.
But what about Cooper? No, Cooper! His crystal! Get his crystal! Good thinking, Yuli! And then I'm going to jump into the life pod.
I genuinely thought last turn that you were all going to jump into life pods, and then Bentham was going to be left there going, it's okay, I've got my crystal... Oh, fuck.
I was going to use the start of my turn to toss it over to him if I had it on me.
So, yeah, you've got the other armature sitting in one of the bays as well. So, with that, Delilah gets into a life pod. Delilah, do you eject?
I'm going to... I imagine he can manually eject us if he needs to.
Okay.
Right? No? Okay, I don't know. Would she know?
I'd imagine
What if the weapon system hits the life pod?
Yeah, if the ship starts going into 0 damage and negative, it might disable certain systems. That's a risk.
Yeah, then I guess I would, because I know we have a little bit of time left. I'm going to wait probably like 15, 20 seconds, like start counting down, and then eject at that point in time, because like I don't want to be a target.
So are you ejecting this turn or are you ejecting next turn?
My apologies, next turn.
Okay, next turn. That's fine.
Next turn. I'm going to hold out as long as I can.
Okay. Ulysses.
Oh, no, fuck it. It's a nuke. What are we talking about? This turn. It's a nuke. This turn. Sorry. Let's not be in a nuclear
I just hear behind me.
You hear behind you as it closes, and you hear a, guys, I'm going to eject in about 30 seconds, and then a... Life pod.
It's probably just like that. It's like, I'm gonna leave soon. Shit, it's a nuke. No.
Hearing that, I actually call out to like if this is allowed out of turn effectively.
Sure.
Is in reaction to Delilah launching. Set a course for the ship. Fire the nuke. Just do it now. Autopilot, whatever.
Can I do that?
An autopilot wouldn't really do the job as effectively as a human could.
As long as he's got a good aim.
Yeah, but they're weaving too. They're moving around and he's counter-weaving. You could do it, but it would be incredibly ineffective compared to having an actual person flying it. It's up to you.
Makes sense. Hence the crystal bit.
I'll say, it won't be any good. Take the crystal and go. I imagine you can't like bundle a Nemesis armature into a life pod, so it's just gonna have to be the...
A Nemesis armature would just about fit in a life pod. It would be effort to get it in there, though. It could fit your armature easily. A Nemesis armature would be a close fit, but it would fit.
As he says, the crystal... Set the crystal to fly the ship, is my response.
How long does it take for one to be ready? Is it 30 days?
2 weeks.
Oh right, it's ready then. I was about to be
Oh, yeah, no,
like,
you've
no,
got a
you
second
should
crystal.
go with the crystal, knowing that I was gonna die. But okay, yeah, sure. I'll be alive then.
Oh no, your crystal
Can-
is fully grown.
Can I plug the crystal into the ship, and then can that operate the ship, or will it only activate if I die?
The latter.
Take
What
your
you
turn.
could do is take that one out, plug that into the ship, then Ulysses puts the other one into your brain, and then takes your corpse.
Then I'll quickly direct him to do that. Wait, can I now press the button to open my head without it going without me going
Yeah,
unconscious?
you can do that. Your head goes tink, 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 and opens up, splaying open like a flower in bloom.
There's a bit of sock fallout.
A bit of sock does fall out.
Yeah, I press the button to open my head and say, put that in there, put that in here.
I'm okay. So what? You take your turn, and then you see. I'll actually take
This
my
will
turn.
take your entire turn, is to switch them over and bundle the armature out, because it will take a turn for him to switch over between the items effectively.
Oh, right. So, at what state is Cooper at the moment?
Cooper is head open, asking you to unplug his crystal.
I don't know what to do, Cooper. And I just reached for the crystal. I don't know what Cooper's already set to go in motion.
You can see like the socket right in the.
Yeah, you've got a socket like kind of obviously on the desk, and he said plug it in, plug that one in there.
Yeah, I understood the commands, but Ulysses is like, I every time I touch technology, someone dies.
Okay. You go to
If
the
it hasn't
crystal.
come across, Ulysses has been very no touchy buttony for the entire trip where he was coming here after what happened.
Well, as he's concerned, then I'll make a more clear motion of take it out, place it in like this. Do the same with that one to here.
Fine, and I do it.
And his corpse goes. You plug the second one in, no change to his head. You plug the
No,
one
I
into
plug him into the ship first.
You plug him into the ship, and then the lights flicker, and then Cooper, you are the ship.
I grab. Did you say that the Nemesis armature would fit in one of the life pods?
Probably, yeah.
All right. Well, I grab
Wait, the Nemesis or
the crystal. Have you been saying that it took my turn to move the other crystal into Cooper's head?
Yeah, you can put the people into the life pods and eject them if you want as well, because that's fairly quick if you want. I'd say you'll have to do that.
Where is the Nemesis armature?
Where did you leave it? Did you leave it in the workshop? Or the mess?
Workshop.
It was probably in the workshop, so it's a bit too far.
Like the Echo is right there, right immediately next to the life pod, and it's a lot smaller.
The Echo's the one that Cooper was in, so it's
Yeah,
actually the one
but now
Ulysses
it's
sends.
limp. Now it's a flaccid armor.
Oh
type,
yeah.
so.
We're saying Ulysses has effectively already put the Echo armature into the life pod.
I
in
think
his turn.
you said that you wanted to move everything maybe vaguely illegal into a spare bay that didn't need fixing, and the workshop needed fixing, so it would actually probably be in the bay
On the lower floor of the ship.
downstairs on the lower floor where you said before. That's actually where
Which
you
one?
did say.
Which one would it be?
Probably that one there. Maybe that one there. It's one of these two you said you would turn into a place to store the dodgy stuff while it was getting fixed.
Okay. So I've effectively bundled Cooper, the limp Cooper with the crystal in the phylactery into one of the life pods.
Okay.
Is there a way for me to automatically fire it from the outside? Because he's limp. He can't do it.
Yeah, you can fire it from the outside, or the ship can fire it.
Okay, well, I immediately eject it. And then I'm about to climb into the other life pod. And then I pause and I just look around. Anything else, Cooper?
Just go and we can end this. The PA says to you.
Okay. Well, given that, then I climb in and I hit the button. Feels like a lot for me to have done in one turn. I'll be perfectly honest.
It's a 30-second turn, and you're acting fast, so...
Yeah, but I was also carrying a corpse.
You're literally carrying the corpse like a meter.
Okay.
It's not that much. And unlike a corpse, it doesn't, like, limp all the way. It mostly freezes in place. So it's not too bad. Right.
How far can I even move in a turn? Because the ship combat turns are long, aren't they?
Yeah, you can move a very long way. It's going to fire at you again. The bright blue violet beam. This time missing by a few ship lengths. However, the flak weapon hits. Doing 4 damage after your armor. 9 before armor, 4 afterwards. How much does that put you on HP?
We are on 1 hit point.
You couldn't have planned this any better. You couldn't have planned this any better. If you screw up now, yeah, maybe you could have. Ship, what do you do?
Right, so... In what ways could I activate the nuke? Can I activate it while it's still in the tube so that I could just ram them and then activate it for a guaranteed thing?
Wouldn't be guaranteed. Ramming them would just do enough damage anyway. You wouldn't need a nuke.
There's a case of actually succeeding in ramming them.
Yeah.
Well, I trust Cooper's piloting over his shooting. You know?
In that case, I guess I could try firing the nuke first and then ramming second if the nuke fails.
Okay. If you want to make me a shoot roll.
Is it possible
I might
to
be dead
shoot
by
it?
then.
Is it possible to shoot at the last possible second to like... To be
You're
like...
still going to hit debris, though. Like, it would still be effectively the same thing.
Because I'm just thinking, like... Because when a nuke goes off, the blast would affect the ship if it's close enough. Whether or not, you know, but that's only if it hits debris next to the ship and not like misses and hits it off to the side, you know.
It's up to you. What do you want to do, Cooper? A shoot will give you a second chance to do a ram. A ram wouldn't really give you a second chance.
I'll try shooting the final nuke first.
Okay.
And I don't think that there's any... I don't think that there's any actual things I can do in terms of gunnery to... Not in gunnery, in terms of piloting to ram. I don't think there's a specific...
Yeah, we'd homebrew
ramming
it.
action.
Have you got any command points you can spend on buffing the nuke attack? You've got a lot of command points there.
Yeah, I have 2 left, so it's a case of if I can't spend them on the ram, then I'll spend them on the shot. And in that case, we have 2 command points left. I can spend 2 for the nowhere to hide effect for gunnery, which means that I can roll the attack twice and take the better roll.
Okay. Go for it.
I will need to take the test for it first. Difficulty is 7. What sort of check is it when you're gunnery? Is it a shoot check or something? How does that work?
I just say it'd be a pilot check. I don't really care right now. You're in the ship.
Okay. Well, as it is, 13 will do it.
Okay. Roll it twice.
The target is 7. All right. Where's the weapons section? There it is. Fire once. Fire twice. Well, we better hope it's this one then.
Oh no! A 4 and a 1.
It's not a natty one though.
No.
It's a 2.
And I guess I count as taking the better one, so it's not a massive failure of like hitting the colony. It's the same amount of failure as last time.
This time, you kind of come away from your long strafe at them, and you turn around, you fire, and it looks like it's going true. But the last moment, ports on the side of their ship open, and the nuke explodes about 2 kilometers short of their ship, fragmenting, and remains just turning end over end over end as they fly off into the black. Their turn. The polyspectral beam is a crit.
Rip, ship, Cooper.
The flak is a miss. +1. And this is doubled. 6 damage. Ignoring armor. but it's got an armor
1 plus
penetration.
1.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome damage.
It's pretty bad. It's a Delric crit. So, you are now negative.
That would still put me to -5, yeah.
Okay, let me check.
Is there some sort of mechanic about you can take a crisis instead of damage or something? Was that a thing?
You can find
There
it.
are,
It
but
is.
it's only for certain people. And that's in the new rules, not the old ones.
Oh, right.
Yeah, have a look. If you can find it quickly, I'll let you take it.
I guess if it's anywhere, it's in the captain's section.
You could just Control F the word crisis.
Well, I was looking in the old ones just to see if there's something there.
Yeah, keep it together. Zero
Star Captain, you may
CP.
resolve a crisis. Damage.
Nullify a successful enemy hit and roll a crisis instead. You can use this action in immediate response to an enemy hit, but you may only use it once per round.
Okay. Would you like to roll a crisis?
Aren't you the pilot instead of the captain, no?
I'd say that he's the pilot and the captain since he is the ship and he's the only person left on it. Like, he's the only
Would I
person,
then
so...
Would I then still be able to act normally in the following turn?
Yeah. If the crisis doesn't prevent you from doing that.
How do crises work? Most of them don't stop me from ramming people.
Okay, so what do you have to roll for a crisis then, Bentham?
It's a D10. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And then we just resolve whatever we get.
Roll it and read it out for the crowd.
We roll a 9. Target to decalibration. I think that means I can't shoot, and who cares about that?
Nice.
The gunnery computers are hopelessly confused and cannot lock the ship's weaponry onto a target until the crisis is resolved. Well, that's fine. We don't need no guns where we're going.
Nice.
Okay. That brings us then to your turn. You are on 1 HP.
Oh, God.
I'll open comms to them and say, try dodging this, and I'll try ramming them.
Oh, God.
Okay, make a pilot check. I would say this is a -2 because you're trying to ram them specifically. And you get to add your speed to it.
I'm literally on the edge of my seat right now. Literally on the edge of my seat. Phantom!
I think if you're saying that we're up to all our max numbers for all our stats, I think the speed is 4 then.
In which case your speed is 4 then.
So overall, I'm adding 2 to this roll then, I guess.
Yes.
All right. This should be fairly good. A pilot roll is a good way for this to go.
12.
Go.
12. Does that work? Do PCs win in a draw in this situation?
I will let you make the choice. Either we can roll off
Oh wait,
again.
no, I didn't add the +2. I haven't applied that because I'm using the macro. I got a 14.
Oh,
Hooray!
okay. With that, you gun the engine. You set your sights on the bulk freighter in front of you. And you sprint towards it. I would like you to roll... Let's have a look. What stat on your ship can I base this damage off of? HP. What's your HP and what's your speed? Max HP.
Max HP is 25, speed is 4.
I'll say then it's a combination of the two, plus your successes on the roll, which were 2. So you did 31 points of damage.
Yep.
You also take 31 points of damage. Just for the record, not that that's really going to matter after you go that far down. And they take 31 points of damage. Now, they'd already taken, I think, 9 points of damage. They take 31. That brings them down from 40 full HP to 0. Exactly. Let's cut to those escape pods. 3 escape pods are currently falling out of orbit slowly, as you weren't really in a orbit, you were more in just a parabolic trajectory. As you see out, using the small display in front of you that has cameras studded all around the pod, Ulyses, Delilah, Cooper's unconscious body, which doesn't see. The 2 of you, I guess, can see the form of the DSRV-1 as it accelerates towards this bulk cruiser. Unable to really move, unable to actually really dodge. And the sheer, very well-piloted DSRV-1 keeps with it every turn, at the last moment turns into it, colliding. The GSRV-1 instantly immolates and explodes, shrapnel and bits of ship tearing apart. The bulk freighter, on the other hand, slews to the side, the entire section of engine being ripped away as it starts to smoke, as gas pours out into the void around it. Sparks, energy just unleashes around the ship, and it starts to make an awkward, winding descent down towards the planet as your escape pods start entering the atmosphere and re-entry. Now, you're awake again, Cooper. There's fire all around you. Wait, no, there's fire around you on the display in front of you. You're inside some sort of ceramic canister. It's a life pod. The three of you are in radio contact with each other.
So wake up, and I immediately get on the comms. Are you guys all right? I think it worked.
Which direction is the life pod moving in right now? And how fast? Like, are we in atmosphere?
You're in atmosphere.
We gone out? Okay, so there's going to be turbulence, I'm assuming?
It's shutting quite a bit as you're going through re-entry. You're going through quite far now.
Okay. Okay, so you just hear a juddling, sort of a juddering reply from Ulyses along the lines of, could be better. Didn't have time to get vac suit. Delilah, have you got a vac suit?
I don't respond. Because she's upset because she wanted to get one before and didn't have time, and now she's just... Shit. No! I guess I knew.
Well, I guess if we land close enough to each other, I can do something.
The alternative is all of these life pods are able to keep you alive in them for quite some period of time by going into a state of deep unconsciousness, into a coma, effectively.
That sounds wonderful. It sounds like totally the thing I would want to be in. Sounds like victory right there.
Mm-hmm.
Is she complaining about this over comms?
She says nothing. I'm
okay. Well,
she probably,
given that, then I
actually
actually suggest this. Cooper, when we land, if you can find us, Delilah, get in, buckle in, use whatever it has.
What does it have? Is there a way to steer this thing?
The gas, the masks, the whatever.
Is that where the air comes from? I thought it was just pumped in like a ship.
There's just this juddering. It almost sounds like a siren. You can't tell. It could just be the sound of like the life pod, just rattling in the atmosphere.
I was half expecting you to say, Delilah, show me the inside of your pod, and then poof, and it gets very, very cramped inside Delilah's pod. You literally go, deet, 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 shove the mask over her face, and then poof, back to yours.
I'm assuming since she left a turn before me, she's well outside of 100 meters away from me anyway.
That's probably true. Yeah.
Because in that time it took Ulyses to get Cooper's body into a life pod. Cooper and Ulyses might be close enough within 100 meters because they launched relatively very close together.
Yeah.
But he did even delay before climbing into his, so they might already be out of reach. Because the ship's moving really fast, and each life pod's kind of going on an uncontrolled trajectory.
Well, most of your trajectory is straight up and then straight down, so they will be slowed by the atmosphere. So you're probably only a few kilometers distant, but yeah, you're still not 100 meters. Especially.
Wait a second. This thing can induce a coma, like a balanced one. Why?
Yeah, we've been through that while you were asleep. We know.
This.
Just we have this available now.
Try not to have an aneurysm as you still fighting against her brain damage.
Delilah ends. Veins throbbing along the side of her brow. One of them pops. There's a lot of blood.
Are there like manual controls for re-entry, or is it just a case of it's got some sort of parachute thing?
There's not really any manual controls.
Does it have any kind of like very rudimentary AI to try and guide it into not simply plummeting into the ground at extreme speeds?
Oh yeah, no, it has a computer system board that will carefully try and land it in a safe area, but there's no manual controls. Like it will just try.
That's fine. I was just wondering how completely completely buggered are we right now?
No, they are designed to be left in space, or if they hit a planet's atmosphere, they will try and do a safe landing.
Okay.
I imagine that they do have like a built-in emergency beacon system, so I can locate them later.
They've already started going off with the emergency beacons as soon as they're launched.
Oh, that's cool. That's good to know. Ah, God. I know I should enter that coma. I just don't know if I have to roll to see if she would choose to enter the coma or not because of her. She's never been healed from her PTSD. Like she's never been properly healed.
Yeah, that's a good way to decide any decision.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Oh,
every time you do this, it goes wrong.
I know.
You got me killed last time.
I know. Okay, mental save to see if I would. So if I succeed, I'm gonna make the wise decision, which is to get inside the pod. Okay.
But you are inside the pod. You mean just activate the...
If you're not inside the pod,
get inside the coma.
Some really bad news for you.
Here we go.
Yeah, re-entry not inside a pod is... critical fail.
No! I'm not gonna.
Delilah
There's
just,
no way.
Delilah just
I'm not doing
no.
this. There's
I
no
open the
way.
door.
I'm
She
not
opens the
doing
door
another
and
coma.
She opened
The last
the
time
door.
this happened,
That is
no
full
way.
on space madness at that point.
I am not getting in a coma. You can't make me do it. No.
Do you open the door?
Well, you should probably stop shouting because there's not much air in there.
Oh, are you genuinely suggesting she might open the door from being such?
I don't know.
In such
It's up to Delric.
No, she wouldn't open the door. She would just, I suppose, try her luck suffocating slowly inside of a life pod with very little air.
As she's having this massive tantrum, she just hears repeating, Delilah. This rattling, but Ulyses is getting more and more calm with every time he says it until she stops and responds.
By the way, as you're doing this, Cooper, you do know that you've got your data slab with you.
Can I do anything with that?
You could hack the life pod if you wanted.
Is this really wireless?
What could I hack it to do?
Well, activate it, I suppose.
Oh, 6 wisdom is the worst.
No? Okay.
Well, I don't know. It's
really far
I
apart.
don't want to get out of it or anything. But are there actual like flight controls that you can actually operate?
If you hacked it, maybe. I was more thinking you might want to just hack it so that Delilah goes into a coma.
Has
Well,
Delilah
I wouldn't think I could
calmed down
hack
yet?
hers.
She would eventually calm down. However, she wouldn't have heard what you said because she's kind of like, it's one of those, she's quieter now, but she's not exactly calm in her head. You know what I mean? It's just like one of those like fuming. You know what I'm talking about? We've all been in that state. People talk to you, hardly listening. But go ahead.
Fair enough. Does Cooper chime in at all? Is he trying to calm it down or try to explain things to her?
But I say the bit about stop shouting then because there's only so much air in there.
Harsh but true. Tough love.
Like, would I be able to hack it? Because I thought that remote hacking was useless in...
I would say because all the escape pods considered one module, you could.
All right, in that case, I'll try...
hardwired to each other whilst they've been launched? Because they're no longer one module once they're outside the ship.
No, but I'd consider them one module and they talk to each other, etc., and try and get you to land next to each other.
Okay. Oh, they're actively trying to pilot us to each other then?
Yeah, they try and keep you within distance if they can.
I'll be on standby to hack it then.
Okay. Well, while this is all going on, I just say, after she goes quiet, Delilah, you're right. We can't make you. No one can make you save yourself, but you. If you don't put that on, even if you survive the impact, there's no air out there. Your only chance of survival is if you're still alive in that thing when someone manages to find you. It is your choice. You can either die, certainly, or have a chance.
So, I'm going to tell you, if I had rolled anything better than a natural 1, this would be an easier check. However, a nigh impossible check in Stars Without Number is a 14 plus for a talk. But she's friends with Yuli, so I would say if you can do a talk check DC 12, you can convince her
She's dead.
to do
She's
it.
so
But
dead.
I rolled a natural 1, so
She's so
she's
dead.
very vehemently against it.
All sorts of dead. Yep, I got a 2.
You really got
2 and a 1. It's not a natural one like yours. It's a 2 and a 1.
close enough.
Phew.
Yeah, Delric is like, no! Open the door, jumps out, burns to death.
No, I mean, I want to do that. I'm just going
No.
to test my luck inside the pod and
Yep,
hope that something
okay.
can save me quicker than the atmosphere can withstand. Yeah, I rolled a natural 1, so.
Yeah, she's kind of gone to the stage where she's almost vegetative, just not replying, kind of resigned
Well,
to her
no,
fate.
no, I'll reply. I'm sorry. I'll actually
Okay.
reply, and I'll say, Yuli, I get what you're saying. I get it. But you know what? I've been there before. And the darkness that I found while I was down never left when I woke. And as long, I can't do it again. If I'm to never come back because of this decision, then I never come back. However, I can't do it. I can't go down like that again. I can't. At least I'm making my own decision, right? So I can't do it. I can't.
There's a long silence, and then ultimately, with the sort of warning, probably sounds in the background and the shuddering still, it just comes through a simple sense of best of luck, and then comms go dead. Like, there's no point in this conversation anymore, and there is limited oxygen.
Do you activate your coma system then?
Me? No, I'm sat here
Okay.
calmly.
Might as well wait to see where we land.
Okay, and with that, quite quickly after that, actually,
As we're coming down,
start
though,
to decelerate.
just before we hit the floor,
Mhm.
I use my telekinesis.
to
I created a pressure field. Just in case.
which was the pressure field ability?
The one that I forget his name.
Allows you to
Damn.
breathe on the
My
planet,
Psycho Bro.
right?
Creating
Yeah.
a bubble around yourself.
Okay, and
Are
with
we
that,
landing on land or in the water? Because
the
odds
pods
are
slow down, and you rapidly feel yourself being compressed into the bottom of the pod, and then it stops, and you hang in midair for a moment, and then plunk, and you splash into water and bob up and down before sliding backwards and landing on your backs as the pod goes up and down in the water.
Okay. Are there any like cameras in the pods? Like external cameras? Can we see out of the windows or anything like that?
There's a display in front of you and cameras that have a 360-degree view.
Okay.
And you can see around you 2 other pods and bits of bronzed open hab that have been ripped open that have got accoutrement and leather sacks, etc., that can be holding them on the surface. You can see a lot of bodies, bits of bodies, and waves.
How far away are the pods
From each other or from the debris?
from each other?
You're probably all within around 30 meters of each other.
All right, they landed just very close then, considering.
Yeah.
So we might not need to go into comas after all then. Seems like we're pretty close to where we were supposed to be.
Of the like debris, what can we tell around? Like at a glance, because like Ulyses is just taking this in very quickly.
Make a notice check.
Okay. Eight.
Around you, you can see a lot of dead bodies and a lot of damage. It looks like most of at least the upper area of the habs certainly has been ripped apart by sustained fire from above.
Weren't they underwater though? Or were they just very shallow underwater?
They were quite shallow at the top end. They were maybe like 5-10 meters underwater, so that they could actually get to the surface very easily if they wanted to. Some of the lower stuff is about 90 meters underwater, so it's a lot further down.
Okay.
But it does look like a lot of stuff around here has been ripped apart, and there are a lot of bodies. As far as you can see, no one moving.
Can I see if any of the habs are... Oh, actually, that's a check that will be more specific. So after a few moments to gather, I sort of ping through on the comm systems. Cooper, Delilah, are you still awake? Are you all right?
Yeah, I probably foolishly used most of my air just then. I'm sorry.
I'm fine. Probably best if you two stay tight and I see if I can find something to do. Might be able to hack into the propulsion systems, get to land, and get out of this thing. Or I
Do you
could just
have a
get out of it
comm
where I
system?
am.
You have a pad, something that can communicate if you leave the pod?
Yeah, I've got my data slab.
Get into the water. See if any part of the domes is still airtight.
All right, though, if I can rescue this pod, it'd be useful to us. Not exactly much technology on this planet. We might be staying here a while. And so how close are we to the land? The tiny little bit of land on this planet?
200 meters away.
And can I see a shuttle landed on that and any people in spacesuits around?
As you look out, you can see what appears to be the burned out hulk of a shuttle. It looks like it may have taken a direct lightning bolt.
That's all right then. I mean, it's not all right for us. We can't now use that shuttle, but it means there's no one trying to shoot at us, at least.
It does seem kind of peaceful quiet out there, like the peaceful quiet of a battlefield. You can see little fins and flippers of small sea creatures that are currently just basking around and biting at the dead.
How far are we from the Habs?
Probably almost directly over some of them. It was quite a sprawling complex.
Okay.
Can I hack into the propulsion systems in my pod and then just use the thrusters at like the bottom to propel myself through the water a bit to try and get towards the land?
You want to use it effectively a little bit like a jet ski. You just sit in it, open door,
Yeah.
and just be like...
I've done it in KSP.
Sure, I'll let you do this as a hack check. It will be
what
the
sort of
threshold
difficulty?
being, fairly high because it's not meant to do this. If you were using a mechanic check to kind of hotwire it, maybe, but a hack check's going to be a little bit harder.
Right, shall I roll it?
Mm-hmm.
11.
And with that, you sit up, you have the open door, and with a bit of, pushing with some debris to keep yourself stable and upright, you manage to get a good 5 miles an hour out of it.
Do I get to the land okay?
Sure. And at which point, you're out of propellant.
Fair enough. I hop out and pull it up a bit onto the land,
Okay.
and then look around me. Does it look like do I see any people, or does it look like the fight's over?
It looks like there's probably 3 bodies nearby, all of whom are wearing some sort of definitely tier 4 tech body armor, along with laser rifles. They're all dead. And nearby, there's another person slumped up against the shuttle, and the face looks rather familiar. It looks like the guy you talked to in the bar. Maybe the nose is a different shape, maybe the eyes are a different color, but it certainly looks like him. And
Is he
he's
dead?
Currently coughing up blood and holding on to a gut wound.
I go grab one of the laser rifles.
Okay.
While that's happening, I remain in contact with Delilah. I'm just sort of telling her, just sit still. Try to... and I start saying try to think of nothing, but then I change it to think of something happy. Just one moment. Just think of that and just try to push everything else out of your mind. Just sit still. Just remember that one thing.
You're muted.
But the comm system is completely busted.
Yeah, its comm system broke on re-entry.
Sorry, my dog was barking, so I muted it. So it took a while for him to get through to her. I mean, she's not going to go into the coma, but it took a while for him to get through to her. But what he's trying to say actually makes sense. She's an extremely well-trained martial artist and knows very well the methods of meditation and whatnot. And so she will do exactly that. She will just try to center herself and get into a meditative state. So.
Okay.
Does she just respond in any way, or does she just do it?
She doesn't respond, but I'm sure you hear a little bit of movement in there. So like
you can hear her
'cause it's a
breathing going from
speakerphone.
hyperventilating to a more steady, slow, measured pace, I guess.
After a couple of moments, then, and letting the message get through, and hearing that she seems to be responding, Cooper's going to find a way to save you. He's going for help, and I am too. You won't be able to reach me for a while, but don't worry, no one's going to leave you behind. I wait for a response if one comes. One does not come.
She doesn't respond.
You said we're pretty much just right over the hab modules, is that right?
Yeah, over where
How
somewhere.
far away exactly?
Probably 50 meters down, maybe 70 meters down.
Okay. Well, whilst we were there, obviously Yuli was quite happy with this place and got to know quite a lot of the people fairly well, and probably visited, especially the hall of the was it Weird Singers or Weird Seers? What was it?
Weird Singers.
Is that within the range of me right now? Like, would I be able to pick out that dome from the top?
Yeah, actually, it would be within 100 meters of you.
Okay. I teleport in there.
Okay. We'll come back to you in a second then. Meanwhile, on the bit of land up above, Cooper, you grab one of the laser rifles, check its charge. It's about half full.
I'll walk up to him, stand over him, and point the gun at him.
Put me in your life pod and turn the med-bay system on. He gestures at you. You feel nothing.
We had a deal.
Put me in your med-bay in the life pod and let me go. Come on.
Why would I do that?
Fracking robots.
Psychics. And I take aim, but I take a moment to check the state of his suit, because I want to shoot the most damaged bit and keep the good bits, because we might need him soon.
His visor's cracked. It looks like he took a head wound.
Oxygen tank, still an oxygen tank.
I'll shoot him in the head.
A perfect circle forms on the visor where you put the muzzle, and the head inside melts and cracks as the skull breaks from just sheer heating.
I'll throw the gun away. Look back round to the pods. Does it look like I could easily swim over to them and pull them up to the land?
I mean, it's not as if you get tired very quickly. Yeah. However, as soon as you go over to Ulyses, you notice that that was a little bit easier to pull than Delilah's. And you look in the tiny little plexiglass slot. There's no one in there.
I get it. J-Slab. Ulysses? Where the hell are you?
If vibrations would travel through the thing, he'd probably feel the vibrations of the comlink inside, just speaking. Or he might even hear it. I don't know how thin that stuff is.
You hear a...
The most annoying ringtone in existence has to be the one that survives the screen. Bloody typical.
Well, Nokias are everything proof, so...
That is true. Nokia's would be the only phone to survive the screen.
Yeah.
This is absolute fact. They wouldn't even be that rare of technology, because there'd be millions of them, because they never break.
Okay, so you grab both life pods.
Yeah, I start dragging him back, wondering what the hell's going on. Well, I mean, I'm also... Well, I guess I don't get an answer from Ulysses. I mean, do I notice what's happened in... Did you say that Ulysses is in... Where did he go?
You have no idea.
Do I see him in Delilah's pod? Is that where he went?
You have no idea where he is.
My deep swimmer's only possible explanation.
That I talked to Delilah, say, Do you know where Ulysses has gone? I don't see him in the pod.
You get to Delilah's.
Yeah.
She just says, in surprising calmness, with a surprisingly calm voice, no.
Oh, what's going on now?
You can activate the coma system from the outside, by the way. Should you get,
Wow, that's so passive aggressive. If she annoys you, put her in a coma.
I know, right? That's not illegal or anything. You don't like Delilah? Just slip her a Ricky. It's all good. It's all good.
So bad. So bad.
I drag him back anyway, just completely confused.
Okay, you get back to shore with 2 life pods, one of which contains a person.
I take a closer look at Ulysses 1 and be like, where the hell did he go? Did we eject more than 3? And I say to Delilah, well, I've got you on the land. I guess next is to try and get you into what's left of the habitat, if there's anyone still alive in there.
You say this to her, like, from outside the pod?
Yeah.
No, he opens the door so you die.
So so now seeing
I
that,
forgot.
seeing that we've actually hit shore and that there is a chance to live and whatnot, she actually seems a lot more, like, relieved, and she kind of, like, will become animated again and be like, how do we get me from here to there? I imagine I can't just hold my breath.
Well, if the habitat survived, we can get you in through...
Are there chunks of habitat all over the place right now, though?
Yeah.
Some of it might be left.
Please be left.
If all else fails, I'm not sure how toxic this stuff is. Maybe we could get you into a suit quick enough and then purge it. That probably wouldn't be fun.
I mean, I imagine not, but that's better than not trying something. Where is Ulysses again?
I don't know. He wasn't in the pod. There must have been another pod or something.
It was still sealed, or?
Yeah, I mean, maybe some extra ones deployed in the collision or something. I don't know where he is.
But we only have 2.
I've got no idea. Maybe he hopped out. Which probably means he's dead.
Well, you can check the diagnostics on the pod, by the way, because it does have an internal black box. It reports that it's sealed and it never opened.
This doesn't make any sense.
Ulysses is really good at hide and seek. Really good.
He's the best.
It's like the only game they played on his planet, and he was the champion. A planetary champion, not just in his town.
He won by hiding back on the ship.
I'm
Plays a lot of
excited to get inside the habitat so that I live, but where is Ulysses? If we waste time getting me in there and we don't even know where he is, he could be put at risk too. Did he go into the coma? He was talking to me. I don't remember him going in the coma, but did he go into the coma?
No, I don't think he did.
In the background, a huge shape emerges from the cloud above and starts spiraling down about 800
that's
meters
not
away,
good.
as the remains of the bulk freighter trying to do a crash landing come in through the atmosphere, trailing smoke and bits of debris as large as small buses in some occasions. And it comes down. Huge spray of water goes up distant from you. A small tidal wave makes its way over, washing over the entire land and pushing off several bodies into the sea.
Delilah's pod is suddenly pulled out of Cooper's grip. It's grabbed by an undertide. It's gone. It's gone. No way.
Yeah.
Yep. Sucked down into the deep.
This isn't good. Okay. I guess we have to get inside then? There's no way to find his pod. There's no way to do anything.
As you say that, Cooper, you notice that one of the small mounts on the side of the ship that used to be a somewhat undercover hidden weapon of some kind, possibly a Reaper battery, is now exposed, but apparently still operational as it starts turning towards you.
Oh, you can't be serious. I kick Delilah's pod back into the water in
perception check.
the hopes that moves it away. A perception check?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Seven.
You notice that as you quickly try and grab Delilah's pod and start pushing it off the land, it's not going to be quick enough. But a figure rises from the tide at the other end of the little spit of land, wearing what appears to be ragged leather that's been ripped, bits of cloth that have been torn, blooded. One arm is burned to the point of almost ending in bone near the forearm, and the other holds a hammer. This beard, singed across one side, fused together, small gemstones being woven into it. Oh, Dorothy, I guess you're back. Just move to the side 1 second.
I dive out of the way.
He brings the hammer up and brings it down towards the ship. As the reef battery, a bolt of lightning comes down, hits it, and for a moment all is still as the sound of thunderclap echoes around. And then it explodes, apparently setting off a chain of explosions throughout the power conduits in the ships, as small explosions rip through it, one after the other, taking several seconds before finally apparently getting to where a reactor core was attached and detonating a small fireball that knocks the figure to the ground. You're already luckily on the ground. And with that, we're going to cut to down below. In a hall, a giant baleful eye looking around, lost. Suddenly there is a... Ulyses appears.
Is it full of water or is it not?
It is actually still full of air.
Okay.
And huddled around all the corners, between about the ages of 0 and 6, are at least 24 children.
Okay.
One of them looks up at you and goes, "You were bad, man."
Would I recognize any of the faces, given that I spent a fair time here?
You didn't really talk to the children very much, but you do certainly recognize a few of them maybe as
I
being...
may have seen a couple of them around their parents.
Certainly you
and stuff
maybe
like
think
that.
that some of the ones running around earlier, they seem familiar.
Okay. Well, I turn to the one who's the most familiar to me. And what was the name of I keep forgetting his name. The one that Ulyses was friends with. The one who I'm assuming has Thor's hammer right now. But
Bob. Bob.
they're all Bob.
I have my notes
Bob.
here. Give me a sec.
Robert.
I will go get you the...
Gilbert.
Was it Gregor? I remember that name.
Ah,
There you
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Gregor
It
is his
was.
friends. Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Bentham.
Well done.
Seeing the child who asked me, does it happen to be the one that I'm most familiar with, that I tuned to?
Yeah,
Probably not. Oh, it is. I turn and I say, and seeing that they're not using pressure fields, I stop using mine. No, I'm a friend of Gregor. Where is he? I'm Ulyses. And followed, Ulyses the peaceful.
Really?
He went up to fight the
you say
bad
that
men.
Where are the
men
others? Where are
came
the
from
warriors?
afar.
Have they all gone out? Where are your mothers? And
They all went to fight the bad men on the surface.
where are the youngest warriors?
They went
Did
to fight the
everyone
bad
leave
men
but you?
too.
Very well.
They came with weapons that shoot light.
Yes.
They wanted our hammer.
They get it?
Don't know. We got taken into battle against them.
I look around to see if any of the children were uncommonly present in this hall.
Uncommonly present.
As in, yeah, there's kids that move around with their parents or just fetch stuff, but some that were always here and kind of spoke with the others with a level of authority or respect or camaraderie that would imply that they were members of this hall.
Sure. In which case, make a perception check.
Okay. What would that be? Notice or no? Given the situation?
Notice.
Notice. Charisma or wisdom in this case?
Wisdom. I'm looking for something very specific here.
Okay. Thor. No.
While you look around, you don't really recognize anyone you recognize as having any sort of authority or rank, but you do get the feeling like something is watching you. Like that hair on the back of your neck feeling. But you can't put your finger on what.
Okay. And I am right. It was Weird Singers, wasn't it? Or Weird
Singers,
Seers?
yeah.
Weird Singers. Looking around, I scowl a little bit, not being able to pick anyone out. Who here is a weird singer?
Why, we were too young to be trained, sir. They don't take us until...
Which of you has the gift? I can feel something. I look up at that globe.
As you look at the globe, you notice the globe is staring at you.
Okay.
It is staring intently. And as you look at it, you feel yourself drawn to it, like almost drawn into it, as you feel your senses close off to everything else around you, and all that exists for you is that one orb, that globe, and everything else starts to go dark.
Okay.
And it seems to just grow in your mind until all that's left is you standing under it. And it says to you, in your head, "You are chosen. The defenders of this land are no longer. You have the gift. We pass down to you the duty to protect those. Use this power wisely."
As I'm imagining, it's communicating more in thought than word. So all it would perceive is surprise at first, acknowledgement following it, a sense of duty following that, and ultimately acceptance.
And with
But
that,
if it can communicate anything else, Ulysses is questioning where the fight is. Where should he take the fight?
the fight
How should he join the battle?
will be revealed in due course. One enemy to mankind falls, but there are many more. We have waged this fight for several centuries,
Okay.
and now your gift. And with that, you find yourself drawn into the eye. And suddenly...
Like physically or just mentally? Like everything
mentally,
gets closer?
physically, for you, they're the same thing right now, as you're close
Okay.
enough to external stimuli. And suddenly you feel yourself becoming almost like a vision, just being able to fly over the ocean nearby. And you see debris, you see bodies, you see a huge spaceship crash into the ground nearby, and a lightning bolt hit it and it explodes. Carrying on a beach nearby, you see Cooper cradling a life pod containing Delilah, and you see a figure slumped down next to them. It appears to be Gregor, very badly injured, cradling Thor's hammer.
Okay.
Is Cooper cuddling me?
A little bit. He's not spooning.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's actually, he's not cuddling you, he's cuddling the pod.
He's like, I've murdered so many innocents. I just need to cuddle Delilah now. This is my child. I'll nurture her.
Wow.
And
I'm just going to say that Delilah seems the sort that's going to give you a horrible teenage phase. Oh my God. It's going to be bad.
Oh dear, oh dear.
I'm just making sure the pod doesn't get blown up. Or swept away.
I don't know, is a threat to the pod blowing up from outside or from inside it?
I don't know, it varies.
I think with that, that's as good a place to leave it as any.
Mm-hmm.
With them
Okay.
all trapped on a distant world, having fired off both their nukes and missed with both of them.
I'm not good with guns. I'm a good
With
pilot, though.
torpedoes. Oh, yeah. Generally bad.
Ulysses having taken on the mantle of protector of the remains of the colony.
It's not Ulysses the peaceful anymore. He's Ulysses the protector. Oh my God, that is like a title level up if ever I heard one.
You have
That
to
is
change class. It normally
fantastic.
requires like a special orb or something.
I'm very happy with this.
Can we Ulysses the peacekeeper?
I like Ulyses to protect him more.
Yeah. Peacekeepers are the bad guys in Farscape.
In almost
so,
everything, actually.
Yeah.
They just take freedoms away.
And we have a Delilah stuck in a pod.
Well, I mean, assuming let's assume it picks up at some point in time in the future without us getting all murderized. Delilah could effectively actually train her latent abilities here. Like she could become theoretically less useless.
Let's get down to business. To
Ah,
your mom.
the hunt.
So you guys are doing pretty good. Cooper, in the meantime, has to really hope that there is some sort of method of generating power here, or at some point he's going to run out of battery.
I love the fact as well, the only thing that you were going to be able to fly off the planet with just got thawed.
Yeah, they've thawed literally everything.
Yep, all of the ships thawed.
Yep.
There you go.
I can fashion a shuttle out of the escape pods. There's 3 of them. Combine their...
Yeah, but good luck spike driving out of it anyway.
Well, yeah, that's...
On the plus side, perhaps we could rig up some sort of mechanical, like basically a key on his back that we twist to power him up.
Clockwork,
that's
yes.
and
gonna
it's
be
return to Oz.
Yep. Yeah, you're gonna become a clockwork man.
Oh,
It's gonna be fantastic. But in reality, it's gonna be like those radios that you wind up. But
No, wait. Didn't we
that's
trade to them a ton of power cells? So at least for like a short period of time, we could keep him going.
Yeah,
Because
you
we
can get like a
gave
week.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
That gives us time to build
fashion
something.
Sort of mechanical powered device.
Right?
Or maybe
Yeah.
Cooper's life is just going to be as some sort of computation machine. He has to pedal on his own bicycle to power himself indefinitely.
Cooper, stay right there. Stay right there. Delilah picks up the hammer of Thor. Right there. That. Ah!
Oh, fantastic.
I have the power!
Fantastic.
Oh dear.
don't know if-
So, thank you very much for watching Roll4It Stars About Number. We will be back in about 2 to 3 weeks' time. Do keep an eye on the Twitter feed for announcements and stuff. I'm sure we'll probably put an announcement up on the YouTube channel, etc. There'll be a short break, but we will be back.
Something just occurred to me.
What?
Where's the egg? How far away from the egg are we? I don't like the egg not being nearby. Bad things happen to people who are too far from the egg for too long.
Is
Let's
there
hope
even
there's
an egg anymore?
T6 indestructible something and it just plops in the water somewhere.
If you had passed your notice checks, you would have noticed that a small section of the DSRV did re-enter and land nearby.
Kind of need to get to it quick.
I
Because
like
someone
your
is being
use of the
born.
word land. It landed nearby.
So we've got the egg, and
Was
we've
it
probably
stuck
also
to
got
the
the
ship that
fridge.
got blown up? What?
Somewhere out there will be the fridge. If that has its own power source, I'm sorted.
Don't know if the fridge survived.
But it's like tier 6 or whatever.
Tier 4. Wasn't it? Or was
No,
it tier
it was
5?
about tier 5, high tier 5, tier
Yeah, it's tier
6.
5.
Maybe.
Because Spot and I were like begging for that fridge before the
Just
game
because this
started.
is tier 3 doesn't mean that it will last longer than a tier 1 like engraved stone tablet if I dunk it in water.
Fair enough, but it produces water. You know what I mean? Like,
The
it
tier
creates
3 fridge
water.
can survive a nuclear blast, as Indiana Jones has proven to us. So I'd imagine that by tier 5 you can
Okay,
survive.
Bantham's getting dropped from the show. We need another person.
Yeah.
He
Oh.
referenced
Yeah.
a show that should not be referenced.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Alternatively, we could go with a little bit more of a gruesome fate for him. He climbs into the fridge to protect himself from the nuke. Someone orders water, turns Cooper into water.
Cranberry juice, nice.
Or Cooper at the last moment decided to try and survive the collision with the other ship by climbing into the fridge on your ship, but forgot to change the temperature setting and turned himself to absolute zero. Sorry.
Man, that would be really bad. If that fridge could do more beverages and someone named Joe climbed into the fridge and then someone ordered a cup of Joe. Completely innocent and yet so very, very bad.
I was
Ugh.
waiting for the time that someone put a drink into the fridge and went to specify the temperature and said, "Oh, I'll have like 3-degree water." Because I was gonna be
Kelvin.
like, "Cool, yeah, no, it's gonna be Kelvin." And I was gonna be like, "Cool." So that cools so quickly that the outside and the inside cool at different rates, and it basically frost shatters and it turns into a small grenade. But that never happened.
So great.
I'd been waiting the entire time. Anyway, thank you for watching Roll4It. We'll be back in 2 to 3 weeks. Bear in mind, you need to check out the Twitter and check out the YouTubes, etc. There'll be an announcement posted when we have the exact time we're going back live. It looks like the 13th, maybe the 11th, definitely the 13th-ish. Definitely-ish. At about 6 p.m. BST and 10 a.m. PST. Bear in mind that it's still subject to change since we're trying to get the cast together in the same room, which, if you've ever tried to get YouTubers together in the same room, is like herding cats on crack. It is an interesting experience. Don't ask me how I know that. So, we're going to quickly go through where you can catch everybody until next time, or not until next time, because Avak will not be coming back regularly, at least. He might be coming as a guest, but not regularly. So,
yeah, I might pop up every now and then.
Starting with Avak, where can we find you in future?
Well, you can find me over on YouTube at youtube.com/Avac, and the same place more or less on Twitter, twitch.tv/Avac, where I'm probably going to be streaming a little bit more frequently in the future. You can also find me on Twitter. I believe my Twitter handle is actually on... Yes, it is. Avac_. There we go. I mentioned the underscore. I've been avoiding it for weeks. There you are. That's my parting gift. Where I'm currently playing all sorts of games on a variety channel, so anything new that catches my fancy, but it's usually things like RimWorld, so it's like colony sims, space sims, like building your own spaceship, a lot of building games, and occasionally games that just make me happy, like, I don't know, Snake Pass or Stardew Valley. They're just games that, whilst they do provide fun, their chief resource is happiness. You play it and you actively become happier the longer you play. I'm quite fond of those types of games. But yeah, that's where you can find me. Drop by, say hello from time to time. You know, maybe I'll drop by here and save you the effort from time to time. Who knows? Oh, look at he. He's gonna have to go and curl up his socks after this. Or socks will be like, no, I'm curled up with myself. I don't need you. Go away.
Pretty much. Then again, I'd end up getting cat fur all over the waistcoat, and that's really difficult to have.
Oh, dude, my bed is covered in cat fur. Since Sheilab's sister dropped off her cat, it likes to sleep in the bed with the warmest person. But it happens to be me. And I don't have the heart to close the door because she's missing her owner. So it's like, okay, fine, you can climb on the bed, whatever. But my bed is now mostly cat fur.
That chair is just cat fur. I can't use it anymore. Anyway, Bentham.
I am Bentham, and my YouTube channel is Mangleport Gaming, just to keep you on your toes. And currently, I've been playing Factorio. Factorio Towns is the current main series that's going, where I'm doing really wacky stuff with adding a bunch of extra rules to how Factorio works and building lots of little towns to do lots of little different things instead of one big factory. So it's massively inefficient, but fun and nice. And also at the moment, I'm playing Kingdoms and Castles, which I'm just never going to end. I just keep playing it. I just keep building, and eventually the kingdom is just going to be... I'm going to pave over all the water. It's just going to be a solid square of land covered in houses and farms. It's going to be awesome. That's all I'm doing at the moment. That's me.
Derek.
I do a lot of things with tabletop RPGs. So the ones that I'm going to highlight are... we just started a new Thursday show over on Lost Initiative show. That's Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Got a couple of cool new people that joined us. John Bolding and Nika joined us for a Vampire the Requiem game. Starting Wednesday next week in the morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, which is like a super Euro-friendly time. We're going to be doing a Mass Effect game. And then like an hour after that one ends, I'm going to be doing another Dungeons & Dragons game where I'm actually a PC instead of the DM, which is going to be a lot of fun for that one. And then after this show ends, I always stream just a bit afterwards, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I DM a game in Eberron, which happens to be my favorite world in the Dungeons & Dragons verse. So, yeah, awesome. Catch us over on those things. But
What about you, E?
So, I'm Enter Elysium. Catch me over at youtube.com/Enter Elysium for my main stuff, which is a load of VODs of strategy games, space games, sci-fi games, science games, all kinds of jazz like that. Mainly if it begins with an S for some reason. Currently at the moment I'm playing Avon Colony, Galaxy of Pen and Paper, which is a game about running a tabletop RPG game. It's very meta. Also, Kingdoms and Castles, and
To say towns, wow, that's a bit of an
That's
oldie.
a long time ago and terrible.
Yeah.
And a
Also
few other
not
things at the
particularly
moment.
a good
In fact,
one
I've got
either.
like a list next to me of games. So yeah, a load of different games at the moment. Feeling really motivated. Also, I stream on Saturdays, 8 p.m. BST, midday PDT, and you can catch the VODs of that on my other channel, which is Extra Elysium, youtube.com/Extra Elysium. So you can catch that over there as well. I don't think I'll be streaming on weekdays now because I just found that was too much. And now I can actually do streams and also VODs without overburdening myself. And of course, preparing to do the new Roll4It, which I'm really looking forward to. Even if there is a small break and we won't have a splat or havoc. But we'll have fun people as well. And Dan is always a riot, so I can't wait to do that. Although that said, if we end up playing D&D, Dan's going to be a bard. He's kind of forced into that role. So,
Of course he is.
yeah.
How could it be anything other than a bard? Very
He's gonna
soon it
play
would be a riot. Nah, I'm not even talking an internet
charisma
riot.
fighter.
I'm talking petrol bombs and bricks through the window riot.
Yeah.
In real life. It would be
much.
bad.
Anyway, so yeah, thank you very much, especially to Avak for being part of the show for so long. Hopefully we'll have you back to guest not too distant future as well. We will be back in about 2 to 3 weeks, estimated, because we need to set up the show and get the crew together and figure out what
Just to
time
confirm, because people were asking at the beginning of the show, Sunday show? People were
Sunday
talking
show
about the timing.
will be probably the 13th, and it will be 2 hours earlier at 6 p.m. BST and 10 a.m. PDT, because we couldn't get everyone together at the normal time, but 2 hours earlier tends to be better for EU, even if it's only slightly worse for America, because it's a Sunday. So it also means that us in Britain can go to bed at not too late, because there's normally a few hours of after show and a few hours of talking and a few hours of talking about the talking, so probably only about 2 a.m. by the time we go to sleep instead of 4 a.m. So that'll be great. So bear that in mind. That's still vaguely subject to change, but very unlikely to, so keep an eye on the Twitter, keep an eye on the YouTube. I'm sure we'll make a big announcement when we're about to relaunch, and I kind of consider it the Roll4It Season 2, or Season 3 if you count Roll4It with an E, but that's kind of a different Roll4It, so probably Season 2.
I count, yeah.
Count it as like a Season 0.
It.
It's like a Season 0.
The
It's
part
like a
of me
pilot
that-
season.
Part of me that will always
Yeah.
remember Belfast and Tulips. That is a love that is too pure to
That
ever
is
forget.
true. And the fan art was just too good. The fan art was too good. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for staying and being amazing. I know we're going to be off for a few weeks, and it's just don't forget us. We'll still be here, and we'll be back.
Because we
and it'll be
won't
good.
forget you, and then when they come
just keep the
back,
hype
you're not
going.
here, it'll break them.
I know. I don't know how I'm going to survive without RPGs for a few weeks, but hey.
Okay.
I filled my docket. I'm good. Get
Wow,
my,
that's so
my
relevant.
RPGs. Yeah, get my RPGs. You gotta keep on pumping. You know? What? Video
Either
games just
way-
don't do it for me. Video games don't do it for me. It's like, you can do this, or you can play an RPG, like a tabletop, you know?
Either way, do support us on Patreon, do support us on Twitch, or wherever way you want to support us. And we're going to go record an after show, which will, of course, be available to everyone, because it's an end-of-season after show, which are available to everyone. Partly so that you can, have us talk about the entire campaign. It's kind of nice. And also so that we can be like, look what you're missing now, you're not be on the Patreon more. But that's our cunning marketing strategy that we'll never tell you about. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and we'll be back in a few weeks.
Bye.